Hello, friends. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Hanky Law. Hanky Law likes solving your problems when they happen, but loves anticipating them so they don't. They provide real people with real solutions to help get your life moving forward. Hanky Law provides criminal defense, family law, personal injury, and civil law. Listen, the legal system can be intimidating and scary. If you find yourself in the legal system, it's important to have lawyers who can explain the process, navigate the legal system, and protect your rights. Hanky Law's experienced attorneys use their knowledge to skillfully defend their clients. Maybe your family is needing representation during a stressful or emotional event. Hanky Law can help. Hanky Law is comprised of Blake and Kelsey Hanky with a family of their own, so you can trust they understand the value of keeping the best interests of you, your finances, your future, and the long-term interests of your children in mind. If you are needing legal help in North Dakota or Minnesota, go to hankyjustice.com or call 701-746-4529. Hanky Law, counselors and attorneys at law.
Welcome to the Cloud Surfing Podcast.
Well, before I just do that, why don't we just get started then?
Yeah, man.
Hi, Daniel.
How you doing?
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Finally. It's been months.
Long time coming,
months trying to get you in here. So where are you at now, dude?
Down in Phoenix.
Fucking Phoenix. And you just came from here to Phoenix, right?
Yeah, well, Atlanta, really. I was here for like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, and then you went to Atlanta, and then now you're over there.
Yeah, I've lived in 3 states in the last 8 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah, here, and then Georgia, and now Arizona.
What are you moving around for?
Flying, dude. Chasing the flight jobs. I went down to Atlanta to get my CFI. Once I got that, I was working at a school that I will not name. Absolute garbage. And so, after about 2 months of there, and not doing any flying in 2 months, waiting for students, I was like, I gotta go. So,
yeah.
I'm actually instructing down at UND in Phoenix.
Oh, dope.
I know they got good planes.
The satellite school, yeah.
Good program.
What are they using? Are they using our old 172s, or what are they using?
Yeah, dude, planes that we flew back
Really?
in the day. But they're all on the process of, like, getting them replaced. So, we have 10 new Archers.
Oh,
and
dope,
25
dude.
old Cessnas. And it's funny, when I do my logbook, I'll see planes that I flew, like, in 2014 come up. I'm like, hey.
What do you prefer between the two?
The Archer, dude.
The Archer?
Oh, it's so smooth. It makes... Have you ever flown a Diamond?
Oh, yeah,
a
dude.
DA-20?
So, yeah, my first flight instructor let me fly his Diamond a couple times.
You know how, like, kind of floaty and just, like, finicky they are? The Archer makes the Cessna feel like that. Like, it's just so smooth and, like, refined. I love it. I love it.
I like landing on lower wings compared to high wings because fucking high wings, it just feels like you float down the runway too much. And
Yeah.
Then you gotta watch this guy try to go to the range if the Wi-Fi is gonna work. That's the one thing, dude. God, our internet here is just trash.
Oh, that's the worst, yo.
And we pay like a pretty fucking dime for it.
See, I got Xfinity at my condo up here. Oh, is that the one where he shoots himself in the leg? Just fucking shot myself. That's classic.
Just limping off.
Fucking idiot, man. And it's always these guys who claim to be trainers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who claim to know what they're
watch
doing.
his pointer finger.
Oh, I know. Right to the trigger. Trying to get a fast, quick, cool YouTube draw and shoot. And he just drew
And ricochet. Oh,
he just,
you
yeah.
dummy.
Oh, he just drew and shot a little too fast.
You dummy.
It's tragic. It is tragic for him.
That is why you keep your fucking safety on until you shoot your gun.
Dude, it's not even safety, dude. You keep
Not,
your finger
just
off
don't
the
do
trigger,
this.
you know?
Yeah, this whole video is stupid.
That is a classic dumb.
Like, have you ever seen like shotgun trick shots, Dude Perfect, where they like bending over, shooting guns. It's like, dude, come on. This is why people are taking guns.
That kind of stuff upsets me, dude.
It does. Like, this is why people are taking guns, dude.
Non-responsible gun ownership pisses me off.
Yeah. Okay. So how many guns do you have?
Currently, I only have 3.
Yeah, AR.
I have AR and a couple pistols.
Nice, dope.
Yeah.
I also have some pistols. I think I got put on a watch list for buying 2 of them in a week.
They have a watch list for that?
Yeah, if you buy 2 handguns in 1 week, you're on a watch list.
That's fucking stupid.
Yep.
That's dumb.
Yep. If you ever said the word boogaloo, you're on a watch list.
Oh, and I'm on a watch list.
Everyone's on a fucking watch list, dude.
The boog is the motto.
I heard that someone said... They get that tattooed right on my inside arm, the boog.
Right, the boog.
God's gonna be like, "What's this?" I'm gonna be like, "I don't know. I'm not a part of this whole movement."
I was a dare. Yeah, man.
Fucking.
But yeah, over the last, I want to say, I'm 25 now. So since I turned 18, so Jesus, what is that? My math's terrible.
7 years.
7 years.
Yep.
I've owned close to, I want to say 19 guns.
That's dope.
But I buy my guns, 1 for protection.
Yep.
And 2, they're ways that I can hold my money because they hold their value.
They hold their value very well.
Very, very well. So I'll sell them when I need to, liquidate some funds.
Yeah. What was your first gun you ever got?
I bought a Savage Axis on my 18th birthday in 308.
Savage?
Yeah. The Savage Axis when it first came out in 308. And, I was living in California at the time. I grew up in California. Beautiful but politically fucked state. And, I couldn't get anything cool. And I wasn't going to buy, like, a neutered AR-15 or anything like that. And so, Savage 308, man.
How is it like buying a gun down there compared to anywhere else? Is it pretty ridiculous?
Absolutely ass.
What do they do?
So you go, now it's even worse. So back when I did it, you'd go in, I went to Big Five, which is a sporting goods store out in California on the West Coast. And I don't even think they sell guns anymore, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, it's like California's laws, on top of being designed to make it as painful as possible for lawful and law-abiding citizens to buy guns.
Yep.
It makes it even worse, I feel like, for gun dealers because of all the extra hoops they have to jump through to comply with California's
it's fucking up business, dude.
Yeah. And so it's not even worth it for a lot of places to sell the guns.
What was it, like 500 million people are like, just like, I'm planning on leaving California soon?
Dude, it's tragic. It scares me. It's like, I get it, but you guys are also the people who voted for that shit.
Yeah.
Stay with your fucking mess.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, one of my friends, he's up here now, is like, dude, back in California, we didn't deal with this type of shit. I was like, but you guys dealt with 25% of the nation's homeless population. Like,
what kind of shit is he talking about?
Oh, like, because you can't just walk into a doctor and just get help. You
can't do that shit in California either. You need an appointment.
I'm guessing he's got too many. I
don't know how long he lived there,
he's got some entitlements.
In my fucking 18 years, you can't even go to the DMV without an appointment there and get a fucking.
Really?
No way. DMV, like at least in Pasadena and LA, where I'd grow up, you show up to the DMV, and there'd be lines out the door and around the block, like most days. And like on days where I had
already terrible.
Yeah, and on days where I had an appointment, it would be. Sit there for 2 hours waiting for your appointment, like past your appointment time because they're backlogged.
Fuck that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Dude, I can't even go to the DMV without an appointment and being annoyed.
Yeah.
Let alone sit there and have to deal with that shit.
And see, I just thought that's how DMVs were growing up in California. Like, that's how they were for me, right? Then I get to North Dakota, and what's the first thing I want to do when I get to North Dakota?
License.
Buy a gun. And I go, and I'm like, yo, I want to buy this. And they're like, oh, you're a California resident. You can't buy this.
Yep.
What I do, I went to the DMV that day just to find out how I got my license switch. And they were like, well, here you go.
Yeah, print it off
5
on site.
minutes, dude.
On scene,
5 minutes
$5.
I had that shit. Went right back to the store. Bought an AK-47. Like,
yep.
I was like, this is the greatest day alive. Like, I was like, this is fantastic.
And so, how many people has that AK killed?
None.
That's weird.
I mean,
those guns kill people, man.
And the guy I sold it to, you know Nick Harrison?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. He has that gun now.
Really?
Yeah.
Dope.
So I was, after college, was trying to get some stuff moved around and sold it to him.
Nice.
So I know it's in a good home.
I had a friend of mine who used to have a drop down on like his bed. He like slept underneath a bunk bed, and like the top of his bed like dropped, and he had like guns just layered.
Oh, like one of those hidden.
Yep.
I want to get that, dude.
He's got one in his room.
Swear.
So
once I have enough money,
it's so fucking
like I'm gonna
cool.
build a house. And my house is going to have hidden gun compartments
just anywhere.
everywhere.
Like right in the wall. Tony Stark it. Pull it out of the wall.
Inspired by Kevin Hart. Gun compartment.
Kevin Hart. I can't. Fucking Kobe Bryant just died,
dude.
Kevin Hart I can't get over this.
It's
on my brain a lot.
It's
right now.
really unbelievable, especially growing up in LA, man. I was never into
like
basketball per
15
se.
minutes ago.
I was never like a huge basketball fan, but I was a Kobe Bryant fan.
But
like,
Kobe's. I mean, you don't have to be a basketball fan
right,
to like Kobe.
Like you're a Kobe fan.
Yeah,
like
Kobe is
it's crazy, dude.
He's like shit.
It's wild because like
this is crazy.
In the past 12 months or so, I want to say maybe a little bit longer, Mac Miller, Nipsey Hussle, and Kobe Bryant have died.
Well, and didn't what's his ass just ran someone over too? Fucking Suge Knight. He killed people.
Yeah,
was that this year too?
So.
Yeah, but it's just like everyone's just like losing their shit.
Yeah, dude, and like it's crazy because those three, were like huge inspirations for my growing up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that hit hard. You know what I mean? And it just makes you realize like you have to live life to the fullest.
Yeah,
and
if Kobe Bryant, that's what it's for, man.
Good.
Kobe Bryant, like, Jesus Christ, that dude's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and that dude can just he did not plan on going down a helicopter today.
Well, dude, did you see the weather?
No.
I'm interested in seeing what the NTSB report's gonna say because it was low fog in the hills. It's like, did this pilot make a dumbass mistake and decide to take him up because he felt pressured because it was Kobe? You know what I mean?
That happens a lot.
Yeah, it does. And I'm going to be interested to see if they say it was poor planning because that'd be even more fucked. You know what I mean? Like,
damn, Wikipedia's quick. They already got his death date up.
Dude, the internet is undefeated. They already have memes up about this shit. And like,
the internet is undefeated.
It's fucked up, dude. Like, it's like I'm never one to be upset about some savage fucking memes, but it's like it's been 30 minutes, yo. Like,
dude, do you remember the Boston bombing?
Yeah,
it took 0.3 seconds for people to make memes about that,
bro.
It was so pathetic.
I truly don't understand how these people must just sit at a computer screen refreshing like just the trending on Twitter, waiting some crazy shit to go down.
Hit the fan.
Yeah,
I just want to see what people are saying about this shit.
Man, like
dude, they've got the fucking crash site still.
Dude, the crash site is insane, yo. Like, it looked like they were carrying some speed into this mountain because it is obliterated. Like, normally have you seen helicopter crashes?
Yeah, oh yeah.
They just break apart into big chunks,
They just
right?
fall apart because they're not.
This thing is like it flew into the ground at like 200 knots. That's what this crash site looks like.
That was not a good part for that to blow up right there while we were fucking talking.
You dumb fucking advertisement.
It's crazy, yo.
Oh, I hate advertisements.
Yeah.
This is just
same.
Except for listening to my ads.
Dude, you have Google Chrome. Get rid of those ads, dude. Ad blocker.
LA Times reporting the basketball player, NBA star Kobe Bryant was killed in that helicopter crash near Calabasas, California. Authorities had told us that the helicopter was a Sikorsky S-76B. As people who are familiar with the athlete Kobe Bryant may know, that is exactly the type of helicopter that he used often to travel throughout California. He was known for taking that chopper often. Kobe Bryant in the news this weekend. Just yesterday, LeBron James surpassed Kobe to take the third spot on the all-time.
It's crazy how fast it can go, dude. He was in Philadelphia yesterday watching LeBron pass his record, yo. Like,
really?
Yeah.
That was about 16.
Yeah. One day you're out living the good life, the next you're gone. You know, and it sucks. His daughter was on there with him. So
this is gonna be bad. This is not gonna be good,
yeah,
dude.
I'm because like. I swear if it comes back and the report says that the pilot basically made bad judgment in flying, whatever company he's working for is getting fucked.
Yep. Fuck
well
bad.
deserved. Yeah,
Fuck
but like
bad. Yeah, but you
nuts,
took
dude.
Kobe Bryant up in bad weather.
Right.
So like as a pilot, you know, like, okay,
Right.
foggy out there today. What
Foggy,
goes up will come down,
helicopter
dude.
low level.
Dude, you will come down if you leave.
Dude.
Once those wheels leave the ground, it's like, this is
the
it,
FAA
dude.
has been going hard on CFIT, controlled flight into terrain,
Yep.
for exactly this reason, dude.
Yep.
Poor planning, you know what I mean? Just the other day, I was up with a student, you know what I mean, doing a lesson, and aeronautical decision making is huge. It's like, you
massive.
go flying in mountainous terrain where you don't have weather reports, where you don't know where the winds are coming from, all these things. It's like, you can't do that. You know what I mean? You have to be able to think critically and say, is this the smart decision?
Especially wind affects you terribly. Helicopters, wind affects you differently than anything else, too.
Yeah.
You've got so many different moving parts, downdrafts here, updrafts there,
Yeah,
low
man.
pressure there, and you have wind that comes across that affects your low pressure as the blades turn.
Right.
It's going to fuck you up a little bit.
And see, that's what I don't like to speculate, especially after anything aviation related.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I wonder what the NTSB is going to have to fucking say about this, dude.
Yeah, that's I want to see that report because there's so many things that could happen, and they showed a still picture of the crash site on Twitter somewhere, and that helicopter looked obliterated. And they said it caught on fire, so it could have just been that it burned to the ground, basically.
Yeah.
But like, there was no big chunks of this helicopter other than the tail. And when I say the tail, like, I really mean like the empennage of that aircraft. Like, it was just that sitting there. So I don't know, man. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they're just pictures of him playing basketball, but
Yeah. But
holy shit.
but yeah, back to buying guns in California real quick.
Yeah.
That was a process. So for that, I went on my 18th birthday. You fill out the 4473, right? Which for everybody who doesn't know is background check.
It's your ATF background check form.
And that's on 99.99% of gun purchases, just to
It's
dispel
also,
any
I have yet to see one that's not, though. Like, which ones
person
don't
to person.
have,
If I sell you my gun, that's the only ones.
I guess.
Literally it.
Yeah.
And it's not even legal in all states. You can't do that in California. So, like, even on those, you have to get a background check. So, I mean...
We gotta get some common sense.
Right. So then you pay the gun store, and they're like, all right, see you in 10 days. So then you have to wait 10 days, because I just don't understand the logic behind half these gun laws.
Well, it's like, no, because
What's that going to do?
because they think, like the mass... Okay, like, let's take a look at the Vegas mass shooting.
Mm-hmm.
That dude was carrying guns in for weeks in suitcases.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna sit here and tell me that 10-day waiting, that would prevent
You don't
this.
even have to look at Vegas, dude. Look at fucking San
Anything.
Bernardino.
Yeah.
Look at Santa Barbara.
Yep.
2 crazy mass shootings that happened in California where their gun laws were used. In Santa Barbara, those dudes, it was like a guy and a girl. They had AR-15s that were California legal AR-15s.
Mm-hmm.
And they were using 10-round magazines.
Yep.
And they still killed, I think 15 people.
Yep.
It's like...
Well, the sad thing is people are going to hear this and go, oh, we need to ban those too. Like, no. You keep taking the guns out of the hands of the people
Dude.
who are trying to shoot back, you fucking idiots.
It doesn't make any... And then you look at things like in Texas just recently where 2 people were killed, and then thankfully someone else was armed and was able to put that dude down.
Let's talk about Bloomberg's going after that fucking guy.
Bloomberg's a piece of shit.
Bloomberg's a real piece of shit.
See,
It's
here's my
fucking
thing,
implements stop and frisk, but they just going to come after and talk to you about your guns. Go fuck yourself.
Dude, that's all politicians, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at it, and when I say all, I mean all. Like, you know me. Most it's so funny. So, like, my friends in California, they'd be like, oh, you're a fucking Republican.
Yeah.
And then
It's
my
great.
friends in, like, Minnesota or North Dakota be like, oh,
You're a
you
liberal.
fucking
You're
liberal.
a Democrat.
And I'm like, no,
Yep.
actually, I'm closer to an anarchist.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't like
fucking hate
any
the
of them.
government.
Those guys all suck,
They
dude. What
all
are you
suck.
talking about? Those dudes suck.
They're all trash, and they're all beholden to corporations and do what they want to line their pockets. To me, it's simple as this: if you're gonna be such a prick that you surround yourself to protect you and your assets and your family and your businesses with guns, and then turn around and try and tell me, a normal person, that I'm not allowed to.
And not
you
only
can eat
that,
dick.
with guns that you can't even have
Right.
with the ones that you are allowed to have. Like, you can't even have those ones.
Right.
So not only are you not
I
allowed
mean,
to have
and,
guns,
like,
but
we
you
can have some of them. We just can't afford
some.
them. You know,
Some.
it's like I can get a short-barreled M16,
Yeah, you could.
but I'd have to pay $30,000 for it.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
for billionaire Mike Bloomberg, that's not a problem. He can arm his whole group
Yep.
with those. For me, it's impossible.
Yep.
And they want to tell me a gun that looks like that is more dangerous? Get
Well,
out of here.
It's because it looks like it, man.
Fucking
Looks are
retarded.
very scary. If it looks scary, it is scary.
Hey,
That's because we're 5.
hey,
Because we're children.
crazy. It's a joke,
We
dude.
look at something and we're like, it's bad.
Well, and then this is
Bad.
the other part of the problem. And I'm always one, I'll speak my mind, and I think very logically and level-headed. And when I'm wrong, I'm not afraid to admit it. But the other half of the issue is the argument for gun control is pandering to people who know nothing about guns.
Yep.
And when you come down to it, are simply ignorant.
They just don't know what gun...
Ignorant as
Yep.
fuck. And
Yep.
easily manipulated emotionally.
Because there's people that have had gun control conversations with that during our conversation they've changed their opinion on gun control. It's like, but you should not be that easily swayed in something as
Well-
big of a deal as gun control
Right.
because
And
this is a
people are like-
massive problem.
People are like, when would you ever need it, right? And they think that that's some trump card. And then when I tell them, oh, I've used my gun 2 times in my life, in the 7 years that I've been able to legally own guns, I've used it twice to save my life without having to shoot anyone. And there was 3 times before I was of age to own a gun where I wish I was armed. And it's like, when I break those stories down to people, they're like, oh, this is why he feels this way. And
Because,
I'm like,
to be honest with you, fucking gun control is one of the most, like, first-class privileged things I've ever heard of.
I was just telling a kid
Very
the other day
privileged
on
thing.
Facebook, you know, like, it is an incredible place of privilege to
really is.
assume that because you live in a place that's quote-unquote safe,
Yep.
right, that millions of other Americans have that same, you know, privilege afforded to
Yeah.
them, and they don't.
They
You know what I
don't
mean?
think like that. They're thinking about what's best. Well, this is what I want for
Right,
me.
right.
It's like, well, you live in a country of 330 million people, dude.
And that's the other problem with America, dude. Everybody is so busy focused on what everybody else is saying, what everybody else is doing, what everybody else wants, how they want to live their lives, trying to control everyone else. I don't give a fuck what you want to do.
No.
If what you do does not personally and immediately affect my pursuit of life, liberty, or happiness,
Yep.
I could care less what you
I don't
do.
give a fuck what you do.
I don't care. I don't care what you say. And like, that's the other thing.
Even if
dude.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't care. It's like, it's so simple, dude. When I was in high school, man, like, I took a history class, and I remember one of my teachers telling me this. They were like, avert your ears, avert your eyes. If you don't like something, don't control other people's lives. Look away.
Just chill
Just
out.
ignore it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. People don't realize they give power to these things that they fight against.
Yep. All the time.
They're literally empowering it.
You're giving
They're
them.
feeding the people that they are trying to controlling into acting opposite of what they want to do.
Yep.
It's like in Grand Forks. You remember I worked at Cabela's in East
Yep.
Grand. I had a guy call me the N-word one time. Hard R.
What?
Checking out. Yeah. And I was like, I laughed. I laughed in his
That's
face.
so
And-
fucking pathetic.
Well, yeah, guy was having a bad day, right?
So?
Not giving him a pass, you know what I mean? But I'm just talking about how
I know, I get
approach
you.
these situations,
I
right?
just-
It's like, I had 2 options. I had every right to, in that moment, deck him in the face.
I say
do
that's one of
all
those
this.
words that if someone says that word, that's like the pass. You can beat
Right.
the fuck
No-
out of
no
that,
doubt.
dude. And
Society
everyone's
would
gonna
have
be
been
like,
on my side, right?
everyone's gonna be like, yep.
100%. But like, what does that do? That just causes a rift. Like, when you think about it, like, yelling in people's faces, getting upset, and like, yes, there's a time and a place, but when you can just literally like blow it off and not give any power to it,
Yep.
that man was shook when I laughed.
Yep.
I guarantee he was shook as fuck.
Yep. And you're just like,
You
all
know?
right,
And
sounds
my
good.
boss at the time, he heard it, kicked the guy out.
Yeah.
You know,
Good.
so that it was handled.
Good.
But it's like I'm not gonna be ever in a position where I give somebody who's doing something
The authority
wrong
over you.
that power or authority
Yeah.
over me. Never. Fuck that. You know. And it's like the same thing with my guns. Like, I was going to a birthday party in Grand Forks of all places. Both times I've had to use my gun to protect myself is in Grand fucking Forks.
Yeah, well, since that's the thing. I love Grand
Safe as
Forks.
fuck.
I love Grand Forks, man. We moved there when the hell did we move there? Like
12, 13, whatever the fuck we moved there.
Yeah, 2013 for me.
And like, you could leave your car unlocked.
I had guns in my car. I had everything, dude. Like,
And then, like, 2017 rolled around. It was a much different city. It was a very different city.
I left, dude. I was so 2017 was the year I graduated, and like I was always down here in the cities with my girlfriend at the time, and I was never around. But I heard it went to shit.
Both Walmarts started getting shot
Shut
up.
I remember that, dude. I started carrying a gun to that Walmart.
Dude got shot in the hospital of Altru.
Oh, I didn't hear about that one.
Oh, this was a
Word.
big deal.
Really?
There's a problem. Well, it's still under investigation, low key, because like the cop was waiting on the top of the bridge for this guy to drive over, and then chased him, and then followed him into the parking lot and sent like 10 rounds into this guy's car.
What?
Yep.
Oh, it was a cop shooting.
Yep.
Fuck.
Blew off his fingers and shit. Guy survived it, but
That's
yeah.
the other thing, dude. Like, we live in such a fucking weird world where like gun owners, are so fucking naive, dude, that they don't believe that they walk this thin blue line shit. Like, I have law enforcement in my family. I respect authority. I respect law enforcement in that regard. But you have to also be level-headed and, like...
understand that's a human being and just wearing different clothes.
They're literally following orders.
Yeah, they're doing what they're told just like anyone else. It's fucking...
I looked at, like, the demonstration in Virginia, and it's like, those cops... if they really stood with the people, they would have said, "Fuck you guys, protect yourselves." And they would have marched with the people, but they were still there enforcing the barricades.
If they really cared, they would have fucking took down those stupid chain link fences.
Yeah, dude.
What a dumb picture. You have a statue that says "For Liberty and Justice," and it's behind chain link fences.
Well, and this is the thing too. It's like Virginia it is going to be, I feel like, one of those demonstrators as to how serious people are about their rights.
Yep.
Because you see time and time again in history, people vote to give their rights away for the illusion of safety, which government can't provide.
They cannot get you safe.
No, you look at anywhere and compare the number of the population for anywhere to the amount of police they have there, and then you look at how many times the police proactively prevent something versus retroactively investigate something.
Yep.
And it's like, this illusion of government protection is dumb as shit.
It's an illusion. It's an illusion.
Right.
It's fake.
You have to be super, super naive to believe that the government can keep us safe.
Can you believe it? Can you imagine? Well, I don't think people realize the world is what it is. Take a step back. The world is a rock floating in the nothingness of space.
Yep.
We are monkeys that can talk. And we put on clothes.
I don't know if I believe that.
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's going to be people who don't believe that. But, in general, we're talking animals.
Yeah. No, dude.
There is no rule saying
100%.
that this is how shit has to be. This is just how it currently is.
There was a funny meme going around talking about, this news article says that the world is $217 trillion in debt. And it was like, that headline, if that does not make you realize how much of
who the fuck are we in debt to?
is made up,
yeah.
Who the fuck are we in debt to?
Yeah.
Ourselves. Why? Because we say so.
Yep.
It's fucking stupid.
It's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of, dude.
It just goes to show you, all of society is this made-up bullshit, and as long as people are fine with it, then they don't get a right to complain about it.
It's all made up.
Right. It's all made
this
up,
is made
dude.
up.
It's fucking...
It's a big landmass that people put buildings up and made phones and said, this is us, we have this title, we're going to give ourselves this acronym, we're really important.
It's nuts, dude. And so, for me, I'm interested in seeing what becomes that tipping point to, the modern French Revolution, the modern, Revolutionary War here in America. You know what I mean? Because it's going to happen, and it's going to be fucking Civil War 2.0, but it's going to be so much worse.
How do you think it's going to go down?
Dude, honestly, I don't even know. I feel like it's going to be, and this is the other thing, is people are so beholden to what big media says that they don't take time to look into things and realize that most of the time these stories that are getting or purported out there are either bold-faced lies or the truth is somewhere in there, but it's so blown out of proportion for headlines and for money making that they don't take time to realize that. And then, so that's going to be a major factor, right? Because you take normal ass people who love their families, who love life and liberty, and if they have the ability to be labeled as a domestic terrorist for nothing, just because someone else thinks
you are, dude.
Because you think about it,
some dude in a suit says you're a domestic terrorist. Now you are.
You could know somebody their whole life, know they're the most level-headed person, and then the government can come in or media could come in and say this person's a threat to everyone, and a majority of people would just believe it at its face value.
Yep.
Without questioning it.
Well, back to the Las Vegas shooter. His brother was like, this isn't something my brother would do. This is crazy. And then they found 3 terabytes of child porn on his computer that he said he's never even had that computer, he said. And they're like, oh, well, here it is in your house. Fuck you. We're taking you away. Dude, and then everyone's like, well, fuck his brother. His brother's a piece of shit. It's like, do you think he actually had that? Use your head here.
It's crazy, too, because one of the benefits, I think, of the technology age that we're in and the ease of access to information, it's like a double-edged sword, right? On one end, high-power officials and high-power organizations, things like the CEA, the DEA, the unheard-of agencies that are out there, right? They could create and push any story they want and make it believable.
Yep.
There's that power.
Yep.
There's also the power that you see with, Snowden and Assange, right, with, WikiLeaks, where it can backfire on them, and all their documents get leaked, and then you see what kind of fuckery they're up to.
Yep.
And it's amazing to me that with this whole, WikiLeaks thing, right, where you had millions of pages of documents that anybody could go through, the majority of people didn't, and they believe this big bullshit story when the real story was the document saying that the government can fucking listen to us through our TVs.
Yep.
They can fucking do it through our phones. And
not only that, Samsung has cameras in their TVs that watch you.
Right.
And they didn't tell you about that.
Right.
They didn't tell you about that.
The other thing is and then you start looking at stories where you remember that guy, he was driving his car and he crashed. It sped up and he crashed.
Oh yeah, I was just making fun of that today.
Then those fucking
the journalists.
Yeah, the journalists, right? Then the documents come out and say that the CIA has a program that can fucking
take over your
car, drive it, do whatever the fuck they want. Okay. Then you have stories like where they have unclassified documents from back in the day saying, basically proving that the government has, and will continue to do false flag operations.
Yep.
And then you have people like us who are questioning some of these suspect things that happen in our society every day to push what we see as an agenda, and we get labeled as kooks.
No. You're crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's like, no, this is like literally on government paper saying that
look at the form.
Right.
Here's the form right here. I'm showing you the form. You could have photoshopped that. It's like, dude, am I watching The Matrix right now? Like, are you the chick in the red dress?
Yeah.
Are you the girl in the red dress?
It just goes to show you how much people want to...
They don't want to believe their government's against them.
They want to stay in their little happy
bubble.
mind space. Yeah.
I drive my car, I come home, I have my wife and my 2 kids and my dog, and I do this, and this is what I do. I pay my taxes like a good American.
It's fucking
and
nuts,
I shovel my driveway, and I mow my lawn.
Yeah,
this
they
is
just
what I do.
have an utter trust for the government. I'm like, not me.
Imagine.
Fuck the government, dude.
Imagine. Like... Dude, they can do anything to you. What was? And they said a movie come out about the guy who found that bomb, and then they were like, "You were the bomber." Like,
and trying to get him to incriminate himself.
You know what? Like, next time, leave the bomb.
I still gotta see that because, like, I've read about the story since that commercial started coming out. What the fuck is this?
Yep.
And like, that's some shit the government would fucking try and do.
Yep.
And you look at it too, and it's so blatantly obvious. You know how many people have been convicted because they confessed to a crime because they basically coerced?
Dude, my hometown has a fucking story about it. Making a Murderer on Netflix.
Yeah,
that is from right by where I grew up.
It's like if you can trust or put your trust in a society's government that continuously gets caught doing that kind of shit, you're a dumbass. I'm sorry.
Well, change the name from government to Boy Scouts. Would that organization be around anymore? Or would they be, like, investigated, shut down, fuck these people?
Anything.
These guys are doing...
If Apple came out and
These guys are doing what? They're bringing kids to islands and they're doing what with them?
Right.
And then everyone in the country.
Dude.
All right.
It's fucking insane. And you think about it, it's like, if you see how fast, like, that Epstein shit is not even being talked about anymore. No. It's been 2 months.
No one cares.
You know why? Because everybody who has any kind of inkling of power is involved in that shit.
Yeah, their name's on the list.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
See Tom Hanks' face when Ricky Gervais called him out? It's like, dude, your name was in the pocketbook with your name circled.
Tom Hanks was?
Yeah, and his name was circled. His name, so that's why his face was like, shit.
His reaction, I just didn't know why he took it so personally, but now that makes sense.
Yeah, his name was in the black book that they published right away.
Dude, and
Alec
that's
Baldwin.
The thing. It's like all this shit is broiling, and it's just like we live in this fucking perverse, disgusting world, right?
So all this shit they have all this power and money, and they got to do whatever they wanted. Mm-hmm. But technology caught up, and we know now.
Right. It's like anybody whose name was in that fucking Lolita Express book. It's like, come on, dude, you're a piece of shit.
They should honestly. I don't know why. No one is like, I've seen movies like V for Vendetta and shit. Why is no one just going around being a crazy fuck?
It's so funny to me. It's like,
I'm busy. I got shit to do. Right. Someone else fucking be V for Vendetta, and I can cheer you on.
And that's what I mean. Like, I don't think that necessarily the boog or that kind of thing is going to be like some organized group that just gets fucking
I think
pissed.
It's a bunch of people who are very disgruntled.
It's going to be a bunch of individual domestic terrorists, quote unquote, who go out and start fucking shit up.
Well, remember Oklahoma City?
Yeah.
That was in response to Waco and the Brady Bill.
Dude, fucking, what's his name? They're making a movie about him now.
Domestic terrorist?
No. Well, domestic terrorist. Killdozer, dude.
Oh, dude, my bro. I love that guy.
I'm so excited for that movie.
I'm so
I just
happy.
want to see how the media is going to make him look like a fucking psycho.
Like he's crazy. This dude was a law-abiding... He owned a business, paid taxes.
Loved in the city.
Literally loved it there. Mm-hmm. He did everything. Paid his taxes, built, donated, coached, all this shit.
Yep,
then
everything.
They came along and took all his shit.
The city government
higher.
did. Yeah.
So he built himself a bulldozer with armor around it.
Concrete like 10 inches
And
thick.
a big big old scoop
guns.
on the front. You can't shoot it. You can't blow it up. He's got traction, like on the belts. He had pieces of metal to protect it from explosives, so they couldn't blow it up.
Exactly.
And he's just running over the city buildings and just fucking everything up. And I'm like, this guy's my dude. Like,
Yeah.
I want to kill Dozer.
It's gonna be a bunch of motherfuckers like that,
I don't see any problem with that.
dude. Honestly, and I'm like,
I don't know why people are so. Why would you be afraid
it's
of
the
that?
big city people, dude.
Like,
Coming from LA, dude. People
oh
who live
no,
in
the
these coastal cities are so out of
courthouse
touch.
came down. The courthouse where all those kids were getting sold to prison. Fuck that courthouse.
Did you see that shit about
Yes.
the judge?
Yep.
Fuck that guy.
Yep.
I hope he gets fucking killed in prison.
That's what I'm saying. Who gives a fuck? Oh no, the courthouse.
It's like,
The courthouse
how
with
can
the
you-
corrupt judges.
Right.
And fuck them.
Right. How can you trust? And I have an aunt and an uncle who are judges. So it's not everybody.
This is what I'm saying though. Like people, listen. We respect the people who do it right.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that number of people doing it wrong is growing.
Right.
You can't just
And it
ignore
probably
it.
isn't even growing. It's probably always been this much.
No,
They're just getting caught
according
now.
to the UBI, it is growing.
Is it growing?
Yep.
It's fucking ridiculous.
60% of police officers now are domestic violence offenders.
See,
It's
and
over
here's
half.
my thing. It's like you have all these people screaming about these gun laws. They don't know the gun laws. They don't know the 20,000 gun laws that are already on the books. Did you know being a domestic offender prevents you from owning a gun? Okay, well, if that's the case, then if you're a domestic offender, how the fuck do you get a gun for your job to go work for the city
Yep.
as a police officer?
Because the city gives it to you, so it's okay.
Because it's okay. Oh, I guess because government says it's okay.
Yep.
Then
You
it's
get
okay.
a piece of you
Fucking
get
retarded.
metal.
Excuse my R word. In this politically
It's funny.
correct
My last
word.
podcast, I said retard like 40 times.
That probably happened
And
today too.
someone said something. I don't remember now. I was like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna say it again now, just because you fucking said don't say
I
it."
grew up in the '90s where it was
Dude,
fine.
it doesn't mean mentally handicapped people. It just
It's like
doesn't.
I'm not belittling people that are mentally handicapped.
It just doesn't mean that.
And if you try and
What
make it
happened,
that way, that's on you.
No, what happened was a bunch of people wanted it to be that, so you couldn't use the word, and then they pushed it and pushed it and pushed it and pushed it, and now it's a dangerous word when it was honestly just like
They'd be pissed at Airbus, dude.
Airbus.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
When you- instead of saying flare, the
Yeah.
aircraft says retard.
Retard,
And
retard.
It means to pull the throttles back to idle.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's
Yep.
like, it's dumb.
Yeah, well, you get flame retardant materials. Yep.
It's
Slowing down is what retardant means, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, are you making fun of my sister?" What? No, I'm not. What? I don't even know your
your
sister,
sister's
dude.
a great person.
I don't even know your sister. Chill out. Fuck,
Dude,
I
it's
didn't
ridiculous, man. And that's what I mean. It's like, I don't get offended. It's the funniest thing. People are like, "Oh, that's so offensive," and I'm like, "And like, fucking and." You know, offensive is such a just like, it's so dumb. Offense, when you take offense to something, is you choosing to let somebody's actions or words affect you when they have no need to, right? Like, if you say something to me, like the guy who called me the N-word, I had the choice to go and be pissed and act offended, but in the long run, does that ruin his day? No, it probably makes his day good, because he's like, I
he would
did
probably
something good.
like it.
Right. And then for me, I'm pissed the rest of the day.
Yep.
My day's ruined. My week's ruined. My month's ruined.
That didn't
For
help you
what?
any.
For what? I'm going to let that go in one ear and right out the other. I'm not going to let that affect me. Is that the,
This
is that
is
the pervert island?
yeah. This is just that one. This is the one thing I can't figure out on the island. Because I like just going, obviously people know I'm pretty big into making sure everyone doesn't forget that Epstein didn't kill himself.
No, me too.
I love making sure people
I wanted
don't
to start it
forget.
off. I forgot. I wanted to be like, just wanted to start off today with Epstein didn't kill
didn't-
himself.
Well, they were trying to figure out what this building is, and some kids broke onto the island and found out that
saw that.
that's an elevator room. So it goes underground.
Wow.
Yep. There's shit under there.
Probably. I mean,
And then when they
I
went
kind of
out,
want to go. Want to do a field trip? I'll get my
dude,
seaplane. We
I
can just
really
fly out
want
there,
to.
dude.
Well, did you see those dudes who went there on their boat?
Yeah.
Those dudes are
They got
hilarious.
chased.
And they're like, run, shit, dude, run. And they're running from golf carts.
It's like, there's like some type of cabal at some high level that is shutting this shit down when news media who claims, like, I don't like Trump. I don't give a fuck about Trump
Exactly.
because of this kind of shit, not because of him being president, like, just like this kind of shit.
Yeah.
That man's name is in all these books. That man has been a terrible business person and screwing people over
Dude.
his whole life. Like, that's why I don't
How
like
many
him.
creditors in New York did he fuck over?
Dude, he wasn't even allowed to get a loan at any banks, like
I
in the
know.
U.S. or some shit. Like, what? He had to go to fucking Russia to get loans. Like, you know you're a fucking dickhead
when American banks won't
don't
help
want to
you
make
out.
money with you.
Yep.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, it's because they know you're not going to pay him back.
Right.
He's been. I mean, dude, but that's. Yes, anyone from New York, everyone's like, we knew that he was fucking.
Yeah.
He just makes other people buy buildings and he puts his name on it.
Yeah, it's a marketing thing.
That's
He releases his name out basically.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Those Trump towers, they're not his.
No.
He
Hell no.
makes it like people didn't know that. Like he literally uses his name as a marketing tool.
Yep.
That's it.
It's not. He
And,
doesn't own those buildings.
But it's like, and that's where I find it so easy to find hypocrisy in politicians.
Yep.
You look at people like Hillary Clinton who fought tooth and nail to like diminish the value of what the women who her husband fucking took advantage of.
Yes.
You know? And then she turns around today and is like, women's rights, this
Joins
and that.
the Me Too
Girls,
movement.
Me Too.
Shut
it's
the
like, bitch,
fuck
your
up.
husband was the president of Me Too. Get the fuck out of here
Yeah,
with that.
your
Like-
president founded Me Too, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, he was the CEO, the founding branch. He was the reason why that shit all started. You go back, why did Me Too start? Well, it all started in 86 when Bill Clinton got his dick sucked.
Well, it
Or
turns out it started
96.
with Bill Cosby a little bit before
I
that.
suppose. Bill Cosby's been
unfortunately.
fucking and Harvey Weinstein.
Dude, all of them.
Apparently
All of them.
everyone's just ridiculous.
And dude, and here's the thing, dude. I did acting when I was little, and it was like a known thing back then, like amongst adults, that people had to fuck to get to their top. Like,
Yep.
It's not surprising. It's just that now it's getting this kind of credibility that it is, and it's tragic either way. You
Yep.
shouldn't have to fucking fuck your way to the top of anything.
No,
It
you
needs
shouldn't
be
have
your
to
hard work and your skill.
You shouldn't have to suck the president's dick to be his secretary.
No, you shouldn't. You really shouldn't.
It's so stupid.
It's dumb.
It's so.
But that's the fucking fucked up world we live in.
Well, and you got how many senators are in on this too?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot, and they're all making $178,000 a year off your money.
Dude, I think it's hilarious with this whole like impeachment thing, because it basically has made. Again, let me emphasize: I'm not a Trump supporter. I could care less if the dude gets impeached. I care more about the value of the presidency as a whole.
Yeah,
because going forward, impeachment's going to pop off for any little thing that the other party doesn't like.
Yep.
Because this has been a farce. They tried to get him with the fucking
The Russiagate for 3 years, and they couldn't find
that
shit.
had nothing. Nothing came of that. And anybody who tells you otherwise has literally not looked into it for themselves. They're taking whatever the media.
Yeah, they're just listening.
Right.
If you actually look into it, there's nothing.
Right. And then this whole Ukraine thing. First of all, everybody knows Ukraine's fucking corrupt. And then on top of that,
Not only that,
they released the fucking transcript of the whole conversation.
yeah,
The ambassador to Ukraine, literally in his testimony, said himself that the president told him personally he wants no quid pro quo. He just wants the Ukrainian president to do what's right.
yep.
And they didn't even put that out there in the media, dude.
Nope, because they're withholding that. They're not, yeah.
It got released because today one of Trump's lawyers who's defending him in the trial
Yep.
was like, let me play this in front of
Bitch.
everybody.
Yep.
Fucking suck my dick kind
Yep.
of a move, right? And it's like,
Well, the only reason why he's being impeached is because he didn't do what former presidents did, which was get Congress involved in his crimes.
that's true.
So, like, the reason why
They wanted their piece.
the reason why Nancy Pelosi has never done this before, like, you can't tell me that she wouldn't have impeached Bush.
Right. Well,
Let's
here's my
fucking
thing.
Bush.
Here's my thing, dude. And that's why I don't care about what presidents do, because when it comes down, we were talking about this the other day. When it comes down to it, presidents are puppets, yo.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, they sign laws into power, but when it comes down to it, a lot of people forget that Congress has ultimate power.
Yeah.
Congress can write a law, send it to the president can veto it, and then if Congress decides they want it anyways,
They can
just
go back and just
fucking
vote
for it again.
Literally
and
do
it's
the
law.
same vote. Do the same thing you
fucking
just
thing.
did.
With a
Everyone
few
votes
more
to pass.
Right. And
Yep.
it's the fucking law.
Yep.
So the president, and then here's my other thing. I put more blame with the downfall of America that is to come with Congress and that kind of side of things.
Oh,
because
definitely.
you have these people like Nancy Pelosi, Barbara Boxer, fucking George McConnell, whatever his name is. And they've been in power for 20, 30, 40 years. Haven't done shit for us.
Mm-hmm.
And they started all as low-life, regular-ass people with nothing in their wallets. And then somehow...
$100 million
over
Nancy.
right, like somehow over their $120,000 salary that the government pays them, they retire in 30 fucking years and they have 10, 15, 20 million dollars. Get the fuck out of here.
You see what Nancy?
Does that make sense?
Well, you see how Nancy just got her last $500,000?
No.
So, Visa, the credit card company, offered her Because there is a way to do insider trading in Congress with it being legal.
Yeah.
And so,
Sure,
like...
they write the laws.
Yeah.
They omit themselves from the laws. When
Yep.
Obamacare came out, they were like, by the way, this doesn't apply to us.
Yep.
When gun control comes out, by the way, this
doesn't
not
apply to us.
Like fucking California, their senators and shit. We can own them still.
Yep.
We can hire people to protect us.
But, like, there are people who genuinely will sit there and say, yeah, well, they should. It's like,
No.
They are a person just like you. They
This
are
is the other
sitting there
problem.
just like you fucking
And
retard.
This is the other problem with Americans. Americans have placed politicians and
On a higher-
celebrities and
a
all
high-
these people
yeah.
into this godlike status where they believe that they are above us, when really, we forget, our country was founded, these people are supposed to be elected
They are
to
peers.
represent us.
They're peers.
Peers to represent us. The whole argument that Trump was not qualified to be president,
Yeah.
anybody should be able to fucking be
Qualified to
president.
be president. My dog. There is a town in Minnesota that's elected a dog for the third year in a
Fucking
row to be mayor.
Yeah.
Working
Anybody
great. Working great.
Yeah.
Anybody.
should be able to be fucking
Yeah.
president. You shouldn't have to go take a political science class. Joe Bus Driver, if he gets enough votes from the people,
Yep.
should be able to fucking be.
Well, you want to talk about he's not qualified, dude. Joe Biden is not qualified. Shut the fuck up. That dude is the forerunner right now. Elizabeth Warren said she was
He's
a
not the
native.
forerunner. He's the fucking media's
Right,
forerunner.
he's the media's
Get the fuck out
forerunner.
of here. Bernie's
Yeah,
destroying him amongst
but
the people.
that's what it is though. But remember 2016, Bernie was destroying
Okay.
it, and they let Hillary have it anyway.
They gave it
so
to
like it
that-
doesn't
right.
it doesn't matter.
Right, and that's why Trump won.
It doesn't. I know. That's why he'll win
That's why
again.
Trump won.
But that's why he's
So-
going to win again in 2020, and I don't
Oh, yeah,
want him
it's
to win
guaranteed.
again in 2020. And I keep telling people, I'm like, dude, you are going to make him win. You keep doing this.
Dude, I don't even know who the fuck I want to vote for.
No, I
Because
have no idea.
Last time I voted third party just because I was like, I'm not fucking voting unless
I'm
there are
not
two
playing
evils.
this game. Yep.
And this time, there's no good third party candidates. The one person who I kind of maybe would vote for is Tulsi Gabbard.
Yep.
And even her, with her gun control bullshit,
Yep.
and like those hard leftist points that she has, I'm just like, nah, I can't do it.
Yep. No, I can't do it.
And that's the problem. Like, we've allowed ourselves to have a system where we're beholden to two parties and where we have no way of getting out of it.
Yep.
Because anytime a good third candidate come up, they're like, the big two parties in the media are like, fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's weird for this. And then we're like, well, you guys aren't going to do shit, but we'll vote for you.
Yep.
And then you get, it's a classic, American politics is a classic case of divide and conquer. You've broken the country up into these two major parties, and they have these hard idealistic things where half of them, like each party
Yep.
has half of the freedom. Mm-hmm. Like they get half of the freedom ideas right, and then they attack each other trying to control the other side.
Imagine
never
trying
gonna
to
stop, yo.
control other people.
Yeah.
Imagine thinking your job in government is to control somebody. Imagine thinking that's your role. Like, no. No, don't do that.
Right.
Anyway, I just want to like look at this right, like the Epstein Island.
His elevator room thing is painted the same colors as the Israeli flag. His girlfriend is hiding out in Israel right now. He's said to be an Israeli agent belonging.
Yeah.
So it's like everything points to. But then you go into the media, and every day they have a new article about how he made his money in the past.
Well, here's the thing, dude. You see Trump come out and say, like, oh, the intelligence community is against me. I believe that.
Yeah, of course they
I
are.
fucking believe it.
They
because
have
he's
been
not
for
falling in line with what they want.
Dude, he fired Comey that first day, and
Yeah.
they've been.
Did you just see that the FISA courts came back and said that two of the four are confirmed FISA warrants that Comey himself signed
Yep.
were illegal.
Were bullshit.
Yeah, they were fucking shit.
Yep.
So probably the other two were too, and they're investigating it right now.
Yep.
It's like this whole thing was an inside
It's a
job.
coup.
It's a fucking coup d'etat, dude.
It's a literal coup.
That's it. They wanted their
They didn't want Trump in.
Right, they wanted
Listen,
Hillary.
I didn't want Trump in either. But he's the fucking president, man.
Yeah.
Like, remember 2004 when Bush had to win from like the Supreme Court vote over Florida?
Yeah.
No one was like, well, there were some people that were like, fuck you! But dude, you want to know what? Like, get the fuck over it. All right?
Right.
Like, you know, how many times do we hear from, like, when Obama was in president, dude, get the fuck over it, man. Obama's president, dude. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Get over it,
But then
bitch.
Trump gets in. Like,
Trump
no.
gets in. Hey,
That's what I mean.
our
It goes
voice
back
needs
and
to be
fucking forth.
heard.
Right, yeah.
Huh? Like,
It's
bitch,
ridiculous.
Walker, my voice couldn't be heard 8 years ago. What? Like,
And it's like, I'm torn because as a kid, I'm like, I had no say in this. Our fucking parents fucked the country up. Like,
bad.
but then I get older, I'm like, kids don't need to be fucking it up either. Because they would just fuck it up in a different way.
That's what I'm saying. No, you don't need to move it down to 16 years old to
No.
vote. Dude, fucking, how come everyone's listening to High School Dropout about climate control right now?
Who?
Greta Thunberg.
Oh, dude, I'm saying.
Literally, the bitch hasn't been in school for over a year.
Bro, it's
the
so
bitch dropped out over a year ago. And it's not she's on a school strike. She dropped out, dude. She's in high school.
The people are so ready to follow, dude.
She's
They're so
almost
ready to-
17. She literally dropped out of school. She's not going back. So you're going to listen to an uneducated person with autism.
Right. And that's not to belittle autism.
No.
Autistic people, right?
No.
It's literally
But you
just,
don't hire a guy with a broken leg to go run the race for you.
Exactly.
You sure don't. You
Exactly.
go have him type papers and shit that he's good at because he can't walk very well.
It's like
You find what they're good at. You don't just, okay, well, this is my daughter. I'm a really failed actor. My wife failed financer. So here's our daughter. She has autism. We're gonna give her this script. Bitch, go to the UN. Greta, go to the UN quick. Make a statement.
Right. And you know she didn't have any of that formed herself.
No.
There's no fucking
Can
way.
you? Okay.
16, really?
When she says
Get the
you've
fuck outta
stolen my childhood,
How?
bitch,
You grew up in
are
Europe.
you are touring the planet with some of the most wealthiest, happiest individuals, including actors, fucking politicians, the EU. You've met presidents, you've met senators, you've met everything. You're gonna sit here and tell me you've got a fucking shit childhood? How about the
Yo.
you made these rules for electric cars, and now you got Kenyan 3-year-olds digging ditches to go get the lithium out of the mountains, and your childhood's stolen.
My man, if I swear, exactly that. I would literally, if I seen her, I would ask her, so have you traveled the world? Because I've seen you've been all over the world. Have you done that specifically by sailboat that you built alone? Because if you didn't go to the forest and chop down the trees yourself and build that damn sailboat, then you contributed to this global warming crisis, because that's just what technology is today.
Yep.
And your electric cars, they do as much, if not more damage than petrol does
Right
to
now,
the
yeah.
environment, because they're not sustainably being made.
No.
So, are you're destroying your childhood?
Have you seen the
according
lithium
to your
pits?
argument.
Have you seen where they're pulling lithium out of the ground?
Yeah,
It's
and it's killing people.
way
The
worse.
fucking slaves that they have digging these lithium mines in fucking Africa and Asia and shit.
When we say slaves, it's not 20-year-old slaves.
It's like 13-year-old.
We're talking about children.
10-year-old, 5-year-old
We're talking about
slaves.
children, dude.
Yes.
We're talking about actual kids
Full-on slavery.
who, if they slow down, they just kill the kid and throw him in a ditch because you can get more kids.
Yeah, it just speaks back to this illusion that we have, right? Like, people like to harp on the fact that America was built on slavery, which it was, right?
Sure was.
And they want to claim that, you know, oh, we owe these people this and that because of things that happened 400 years ago. It's like, that argument can be made, I guess. But, do you really care about slavery? Because if you do, you'd also know that slavery is at the highest point it's ever been in the
There are
fucking world.
more slaves right now than there has ever been in the history
Right.
of humankind.
And it's like we're all guilty of buying into that shit
Yep.
because our modern technology, our modern clothing, our modern everything in America and in Europe, where we
Yep.
are hyper privileged beyond belief,
People don't
to
realize
live,
that.
is
Dude.
all provided by slaves.
Just look at, for
Fucking
instance,
Nikes, slaves.
For instance,
Like-
let's look at this podcast studio that we're sitting in. This is dope.
Your MacBook,
I've got
slaves.
a Mac, I've got an Acer, and I've got a home-built PC with a display monitor, a camera, and 4K. I've got mics. I've got all this shit.
Yep.
What did I make any of this?
No.
No. I sat on my ass. I went on Amazon after I got sponsored with like however much money I got, and I was like, dope. I can spend up to $300. Awesome. And I got the shit I needed, and I fucking shipped it here.
Yes, sir.
And yeah,
It's it's literally impossible to live in the comfortable lifestyle that we as Americans and Europeans and, you know,
Westerners.
non-Westerners,
Yep.
like non-third world countries have, simply because it's built on the backs of fucking the lesser people.
It's built on the backs
And
of third world
if you truly
countries.
cared about it, you'd be like those people who go out into the forest, build a wooden fucking hut,
Yep.
and lived on your own.
You'd be Ted Kaczynski without the
You'd
bombing.
hunt. Yeah, you'd hunt. You'd get your own fucking
Yep.
food. You'd make your own tools like they did way back then. Because otherwise, no matter what, you're contributing to the thing that you claim to hate.
There's a lot of people that do that very thing, and then you get the government that comes in and goes, "You're off the grid. You haven't paid taxes in 3 years," and they go
Right.
destroy their
Oh,
house
yeah.
because they've been in the
Can't
woods.
collect rainwater. What
Yep.
the fucking
Yeah, you can't
what kind
collect
of stupid shit is
rainwater.
that?
You can't get electricity if
Yeah.
you don't pay the grid for it, even if you get it on your own.
Right, like if you have a solar system set up at your house and you make your own electricity for your property and end up not paying for it, they charge you a
That's
tax.
not tax free.
Yeah, they tax you still.
Yeah,
It's fucking stupid.
yeah, yep. No taxation without representation. Said
Yeah.
that, yeah, and then
My ass.
everyone just threw that away.
Right.
Literally, everyone just took the Constitution,
That's the funniest
wiped
thing,
their
dude.
ass with it,
Yeah.
and threw it in the ground, and
You
then
look at, like-
everyone.
I swear to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign, domestic. I'm super important. My arm's up. See, look at my arm. It's in the air, and I have my left hand on the Bible, so you know I'm serious. You know I'm very serious when I do this.
The land of the free, except if
we
actually want to live free.
We are so free that if you have a marijuana plant in your front yard, you will go to prison for 20 years because that plant is dangerous for kids.
Because that plant naturally grows out of the earth.
Yeah, no, fuck you. But at the same time, don't look at our soldiers guarding these poppy fields over in Afghanistan.
That's what's gotten me about weed. Right.
Don't look at these.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't look at these. Please don't look at the fact that
The war
opium
in
production
Afghanistan.
in Afghanistan's gone up from 1% to 93% since our
The
occupation.
war in
Please don't
Afghanistan
look
was
at
a
that.
war for heroin and poppy and government greed.
Heroin production went up by 90% after we invaded.
The
U.S.
CIA transported it all.
Yep.
On U.S. cargo planes.
Yep.
So,
that's what's funny.
there
Did you
go.
see? Remember that crash? That the CIA crashed
Was
a
it the
plane.
cocaine one?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
15 tons of cocaine crashing in Colorado. They go to the crash site. The pilots are nowhere to be found. Nowhere.
That site got cleaned quick.
Yeah.
Except they left the drugs.
Yep. They left the drugs.
Fucking stupid. Couldn't clean the 15 tons of coke.
It's too much coke, dude. That's so much coke. You know, they landed the plane. There was coke everywhere, and they're just. It's all in their faces. They're like in that movie Horrible Bosses when they run into the coke, and they're just like, "Oh, we gotta run. They're just, and you got the CIA dudes just coked up, sprinting through the woods.
Dude, it's like, and you have things where it comes off like literally in the 80s, crack was introduced to black neighborhoods.
Yes.
And to minority neighborhoods. Like
By
guns too.
yeah, but and they don't want to say who it was introduced by either. Dude, this was
they
brought
can't.
in by our feds. It was brought in to your inner cities. Philadelphia one time, this is a real story, the police brought in cocaine and heroin into the inner city, chased down a suspect into the inner city, and then bombed the inner city. Bombed it in Philadelphia with real bombs.
That's not even surprising because back in the fucking 50s or 60s, they bombed Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
Bombed the shit out of that.
Bombs. With real bombs.
Helicopters
In
and
America
bombs.
with our police. Not the
Bombs.
military, our police flew helicopters over black neighborhoods and bombed them.
And bombed them.
No one cared.
And
No one cared.
It's a problem for me to want to own an AR-15.
Yes. Hey. Hey.
Get the fuck out of
You
here.
are an unsafe. We don't know where that gun's been.
Dude, and then there's this argument, like, and I'm not knocking
Where's
the
the
military
bomb
either,
then?
because people who in the military, good on you guys, like, you're volunteering to, hopefully, what you think is protect our country, right?
Right.
It's really protecting big government assets and interests, but you have the right mindset.
Yep.
Okay?
They want to protect people.
But
that's their plan. They don't know
Do
what.
they not realize, like, people are like, only military should have those guns. They don't call it basic training for a reason. They teach you how to fucking shoot the damn thing, not point it at other people that don't need to be pointed at, and clean the damn thing.
Yep.
You're not becoming, unless you go to sniper school, some ultimate expert marksman.
And I'm trying to get one of my former. He's a friend of mine that was in like what is it? Not the SEALs. What's the other one? I'm trying to think.
Delta
of
Force, Green Berets.
Green Beret. That's the one. He was a Green Beret, and he's gonna trying to get him to come on and just talk about. He's retired, so he's finally allowed, but he has to see what he can talk about and what he can't and shit. But I'm just gonna ask him like, dude, what happens after basic? Like, is that actually, because I've never been to real basic. I've just been to cadet basic training, which is not the same. It's not the same. It's just not. It was kind of a vacation. You just kind of
nuts, dude. I'm like, my dream as a child, like wanting to be a pilot. Like, I've always wanted to be a pilot since I was young as I can remember. My dream was to go fly fighter jets.
Yep.
But when the opportunity arose, like, I was 20 years old. The Navy was at one of our career days. Talking about, hey, come fly for us, this, that. And it was cool. I have friends that are flying F-18s now. Friends that are flying B-52s.
Yep.
But the idealist in me cannot go and work for a government who is truly not for the people.
They aren't anymore.
And who is imperialistic as fuck and wants to go and conquer other parts of the world for democracy when we don't even have fucking basic freedom.
We don't
here.
even have democracy.
Yeah.
What the fuck is democracy? We don't even have
the
it.
biggest farce. And so I don't knock the individuals who are going to do that because
they truly do. In their heart, think they're doing the right
and that's
thing.
fine. Right. Power to you. And I hope that you guys are the ones who stand up if the government tries to act out and be some
I'm
fucks.
saying, dude, but
You know what I'm saying?
that's a responsibility all on its own. You can't sit there and toad on Facebook all the time about how patriotic and American you are if you're going to follow an order to come after Americans with guns.
Yep.
Can't do it. Yeah,
Can't.
those things don't coincide.
They don't coincide.
But the problem is you're going to be hearing from your leaders all the time about how much of a hero you are, and these people are dangerous, and we need to get them off the street.
It's
and
indoctrination, dude.
you are so helpful. And you're like, yeah, buddy, hey, we're helping, dude. We're fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
We're awesome, dude.
Fuck
and then you
yeah.
go kick in some doors, and you get some screaming bitches out of the house because their husband's getting taken away, and you're like, well, your husband's a piece of shit.
Right.
Should have thought of that before we came into your house on your own block.
You have to fucking think about it, dude. Like, America stepped foot in Iraq and Afghanistan, and now Pakistan,
Syria, Libya,
all of
Turkey,
the Middle East. Because
Egypt.
some Saudi Arabian fucks, who are our allies, apparently, came and bombed our shit. That alone makes me think that 9/11 might have been an inside job.
Okay.
That alone.
Yep.
Like, and then forget all of the exponential wealth of fucking information and evidence pointing to the fact that those buildings were demolished. That alone makes me think that that shit was an inside job. It's not fucking hard to see.
I was watching this thing with Michael Shermer, and he was talking with another podcast guy about some of the conspiracy. You know who Michael Shermer is?
I don't.
He's in charge of Skeptic Magazine. He's like the chief editor.
Cool.
So he's like, but the problem I have with him is he's in charge of Skeptic Magazine, but he follows the official story. Skeptic Magazine is almost back up the official story magazine, not, you know what I mean? He debunks any conspiracy.
You gotta look at who pays him.
That's what I'm saying, though, dude. Like, he backs up he debunks any conspiracy. But people were talking about 9/11 with him, and they were like, "Okay, but what's this? Oh, well, it's just an anomaly." Okay,
Right.
but it's not an anomaly. It's right there on camera.
Because you look at all the shit, like all the shit that was a direct.
Like, let me ask you this. There is one video of the first tower being hit, and that's from a firefighter on street level who was going to do he was like videoing his buddy for the fun of it, and was like, "Oh shit!"
Right.
Okay. New York City had at the time 25 news helicopters in the air. There's skyline cameras everywhere fucking where, because Today's Show every morning started up with the outline of the Twin Towers in
the Twin Towers.
Yeah. So you're gonna sit there and tell me that camera got dismounted for the morning and then put back up after the planes hit, and then they can show the footage?
It caught the second one.
Yep.
Not the first one somehow. How the fuck? That's what I'm talking about, dude. It's like, and then just.
And they showed the news article of the tower being hit 20 minutes before the tower got hit.
Yeah.
But like, dude, you can't. People are gonna say, "Oh, well, that's just one of those things." No. They physically showed the tower being hit before the tower got hit. You can't explain that.
How?
Explain that in terms that's you not going, "Oh, you fucking conspiracy
it's
guy."
Just a bunch of weird shit happened
Listen,
before too.
There
It's like,
are dumb conspiracies out there, like chemtrails.
100%.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
All right. Shut up. There are real sprayal activities that go on. NASA does actually spray the air sometimes with shit.
And to be honest, when it comes down to chemtrails, I wouldn't be surprised if the government at some point has tried doing that.
They have. There
With,
is things
MK
about it.
Ultra, things like that. You know, mind control. They've done that kind of shit.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that United Airlines is fucking flying across the sky
not.
and they're not. They're just not, dude. They're just not. Okay?
Right.
They're just not.
100%.
If you see planes that you're like, I've never seen that plane before, and it's spraying a really weird misty shit behind, call me. But until then, you're looking at a jetliner that's done the same thing since fucking 53.
Right.
Like, since we started making jet engines, they've been doing that.
Yeah. And it's like, and you look at like with like the World Trade Center, it's like the dude who owned both of them.
Oh, the
just
insurance
magically
policy.
took some huge $1 billion insurance policies out on them.
And then after
2 months before,
and then after they came down,
sued and doubled it.
Yes, doubled it, dude.
What?
Because it was a second terrorist attack.
It was
Two terrorist attacks.
Oh. Funny how that works.
Because
it's cool because you can look at the money nowadays, especially with technology, and just look who benefits. What's his name? Dick Cheney. His company. As soon as we went to war, money.
his stock went through the roof.
Money.
Not only that, Dick Cheney shot his buddy in the face, and his buddy apologized. How big of a G do you have to be to make your friend apologize
you know
after
you're
you?
a fucking thug,
Hey man, I'm
and
sorry.
You can do whatever you want.
I should have been out. I should have been out of the way of that bullet. That was really dumb that I was in the way of where you were shooting.
My fault, man.
I shouldn't have been behind you while you turned around and shot me in the face.
Dude.
That was my
Fuck
fault.
yeah. Hell yeah. It's like they did. I seen this.
Oh, I forgot to finish that thing I was talking about Pelosi, how she made her money real quick with
go for it.
Visa. So they gave her a shitload of stock option, and there was
why? Just because she's Pelosi?
Hold on. So there was a law being passed in the House. The law would have made it responsible that these credit card companies would have been responsible for the theft of their property inside of blah, 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 blah. It would have made the credit card companies lose a lot of money for they would have had to be responsible for. So, day of the bill, Nancy Pelosi collects shitloads of Visa stock. Shitloads. Then she kills the bill on the floor, and then after that, she's $500,000 richer after the Visa bill doesn't go through because the stock went through the roof, and then she sold her shares the next day.
Right. And people don't look into these things. and say, that's a red flag.
That is right there. That is a law being made for a company. But she's a Democrat, so everyone's like, hey, she's a good guy.
It's ridiculous, dude.
She's a Democrat. It's like, dude.
And this kind of thing happens everything. The lobbying industry.
That's the same thing as, like, that.
That's what goes on.
Okay, what's better? Let me ask you. Okay, if someone walked up to you and just shot you in the face, right? Okay? Or you marry someone, they swindle you out of all of your money, and then they poison you in your sleep and take your life insurance and leave. What's worse? They both kind of fucking suck. Yeah. You're dying either way, but one of them made you feel better about it during the process.
That's exactly what the American people are, like, living in.
That is what it is, dude. Pick whatever party you want to assign those two.
You're still not going to come out on top.
I don't care what party you assign to the nicer of the two, because to me, they're both just as dog shit.
It's fucking ridiculous, like, how blatantly open this stuff is today with technology, with your Google, with your computer, whatever, and how purposefully ignorant people like to keep themselves.
Yes.
It's not hard to see.
Dude, we only have 10 minutes left.
Oof.
But
it's going quick.
Before we go, I know, it's because I fucking... let's explain why it's going quick. So, we had this podcast scheduled for 2:30 today, and I had to work last night, all night until...
Overnights are a bitch.
Oh my god, dude, I wasn't even supposed to work. Someone just called in sick. And they were like, hey, we need you to cover his notice. So yesterday I wake up at 4. I salt my community because I work here too.
Right,
and then I went to my regular job. And then I went to I had a podcast yesterday with someone. And then then I went in and worked. Or I had a stand-up show. And then after my stand-up show, I went and worked until 8:30 in the morning. And then I was like, on my way home, I'm like, I have a podcast at 2:30 today. Holy fuck. So I texted him like, hey, dude, can we back it up 1 hour? I just need like 1 hour of sleep. And then like 3:30 rolls around. My roommates get home from Duluth, knocks on my door. Dude, you got your guest in the parking lot waiting for you. You better get your ass up. I'm like, oh, shit.
Sleep, man. I was like, oh, it's cool. Yeah. He's tired.
I cannot fucking believe that I did that.
That's the life of a true hardworking adult right there, though.
It's crazy.
So 100% agree. I've been up all last week, 5 a.m. every day.
Isn't it crazy? Every day. It's crazy.
Until 8 p.m. No problem.
Yep.
That's how it is.
Yep.
Gotta get that money somehow.
Dude, I was looking at labor rates and pay rates and stuff. Did you know that we are working more hours for less money than in any time in American history?
Yeah.
Even during the time we were making like 3 cents an hour, 100%. We're making less money right now than we were
because of inflation.
Back then, right. If you only had 5 cents, but a house was $1.
Because inflation is fucking ridiculous. Like, like our parents are like, I bought a house and I was making $13 an hour. It's like, bitch, $13 an hour back then was fucking like
the same as having a 6-figure job.
Hour. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Your house cost $25,000. If I want the same house,
your
today,
APR was 1.25%.
Right.
Don't come at me. Our APR is
gasoline
a variable.
18 cents a gallon, yo.
We have a variable 9% on our fucking mortgage. You had a fixed 1.2, and you're gonna sit here and talk about how it's the same. Shut the fuck up.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
You have no idea. You have no idea. Inflation is way higher.
And you know where the problem that came from? Government.
Oh yeah, well we went
off.
Let's
not for fucking forget.
Well, okay, so we had the Great Depression.
Right.
The 1920s came around. We had the Great Depression, and then our president was like, "Hey, the only way to get out of this is to steal everyone's gold." So he made an executive order which stole everyone's gold. Everyone's like, "This never happened." Yeah, fucking did. You were punishable by 25 years in federal prison if you were found with gold in your house.
Yep.
In the land of the free and the home of the brave. So they had the police round up everyone who's got gold, who's the fuck's got, and they put it all on boats and they shipped it over to fucking Fort Knox, and it's all in that one area now, so we could have the gold standard American dollar. And then about 20 years later, we threw that shit out, and we were like, fuck the American
this gold standard. We're going to just print as much paper as we can.
But let's take a hindsight look at things. They took the most valuable metal on the earth from every American, took away all of their individual wealth, and then fucked it, and they got rid of all the wealth by themselves. So they could have kept your wealth for you by keeping the gold standard, but they wanted to go to war, so they didn't.
Yeah. Because wars
what the fuck are you talking about?
Money-making gig.
But, like, dude, I just need everyone to watch a film called, it's, what the hell is it called? It's on YouTube because it got taken off of every other place.
Of course. Anything truth-filled.
Ah, fuck. Yeah, sort of.
But, I was watching a good one about Kennedy.
I'm trying to think of what. Oh yeah, we can. That's.
He got shot from the gutter.
Yeah.
It wasn't a rooftop. It was like a team of fucking 10 CIA agents or some shit, and he got shot from the gutter on the street. And it's the only thing that makes sense.
JFK.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what was that? Sense. What's that video?
Well, he got shot 3 times, but the only one that killed him was the one from the gutter.
Yeah. Well, After I watched the Zapruder film, not the one that got released from the feds, but the real Zapruder film, because people don't realize there's two. Did you know there's two of them? Mm-mm. Yes. So there is an original Zapruder film that was bought by Lifetime magazine and covered up.
Of course.
For years.
Not surprised.
Years
and
it was
here's
covered
the thing.
up.
It's like anybody who's listening, who has like wants to say, "Oh, you guys are a little kooky." It's like just look alone into WikiLeaks.
Dude, you can go to .gov websites and look up these files that we're talking to you about. You can
like
go to congress.gov.
Yeah.
Type in the bills. Look up. Tell you what, you wanna shit yourself a little bit. Look up the Protect America Act.
Fucking ridiculous.
Look up the Protect America Act. The Protect America Act got the cell phone companies off the hook for selling all of your information to anyone. Anyone,
Not
foreign
just the
intelligence,
US government, anyone.
Foreign intelligence, Russian intelligence,
Terrorists.
Ukraine, terrorists, Al Qaeda,
Anybody with
Israel,
money.
everyone. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all these other guys called an emergency meeting in Congress. Everyone get the fuck in here. Mind you, we had a $750 billion spending bill that went pushed through on Christmas Eve because they didn't want to wait longer. They wanted to go home for their break. No one read it. They just signed it. But because they didn't want to be there. But they called an emergency Protect America meeting where now Congress suddenly gets together. You guys couldn't even get together when you're supposed to, let alone outside of fucking hours. But yet all of Congress shows up. Everyone's present. We're all here for this one. Democrats, Republicans, we got to come together as a nation. We have to stand up. We are Americans, goddammit. Before anything, we are Americans first, and we protect our own. So, we need to get Verizon and U.S. Cellular and all these people off the hook for selling your shit to terrorists where now CIA agents and other people are fucking getting killed.
It's ridiculous, dude.
It's a real law, and it's on congress.gov.
It's and that's what I mean, man. It's so,
and that's a public one. That's one that's not even being hidden.
It's so blatantly fuck you in your face.
Yep.
From the government to the citizens.
Yep.
The government is not by the people for the people. It's by the government now for the government and their interests, their money, and their pocketbooks. That's all it is. And we get to pay them.
Here's the law that I wanted to. I've been trying to tell every representative I know that in the House of Representatives, your salary needs to reflect the base median salary of Americans. You don't get $178,000. The base current salary in America is $29,000. That's what you get.
Yep.
How can you represent someone if you don't know what they're feeling? How the fuck can you represent? Oh, I can't afford the plane ticket to Congress this week. Oh, guess what? I couldn't get gas in my car to drive up the road to work. That sucks. Oh man, you can't get to Congress this week. Can't get to work. Join the fucking club. Maybe you should make some rules to figure that shit out, right?
The thing about California, I hate gas prices. Jesus Christ.
$4.60 a gallon or whatever
fucking
the fuck it is.
Dude.
It's like European liter prices.
The best
but
thing
for
I
the
ever
gallon.
seen. The best thing I ever seen was when I left California for college in 2013. At that time, gas was like $4-something a gallon. I get to North Dakota and it was $1.
It was like $1 under $2.
I was like, holy shit! Like, this is incredible.
When you first moved to North Dakota and the gas prices were under $2, and you're like,
what?
Where are we?
Is it getting fucked?
Where are we, dude? This is great. I remember. This is how stupid it was. I went and bought 5 gas cans and just bought gas. Just because it was cheap, and I just wanted to have gas in my garage.
Oh, this is going to save me money in the long run.
It would be dope to have some gas tanks in the garage. So I just had lined up gas containers in the garage in case I got to mow the lawn for a really long time one day.
Dude. It's ridiculous. Like, America is so... And we can stay for another 30 minutes if you're down. Cause, I thought it was farther from the airport than it is.
Dope.
I have all my stuff, so we're good, man.
We got a half hour then.
Yeah.
Dope.
But dude, like,
I'm gonna grab some more to drink. You want anything else to drink?
I'm good. I'm actually gonna use the bathroom pretty soon when we get back.
We can, and if you want, we can pause and edit. You can dip over to the bathroom.
Let's do that real quick then. Yeah.
All right, welcome back from that break you didn't know about.
Oh yes.
You didn't even know what happened because it's
what break?
It's just one line to the next. All right. I got my dab. Got our bathroom breaks in.
Yes, sir. Ready to go.
We're back. Can't do this on the Joe Rogan show. This is live.
Live.
You can't just walk out. Oh wait, I think they
podcast.
do all the time. Actually,
I love that podcast.
Did you see what's going on with Bert and Ari?
Talk about him fucking dosing him. That shit's hilarious.
Yes.
That shit's so funny, man.
So the reason why I find it so funny is because that shit happened to me in college.
It did?
Yes, I got dosed by Molly in college.
What?
Yeah.
Fuck.
You didn't know that?
No.
I don't think.
At the house or what?
I'm not going to say which house, but at the house, yes.
House.
You know which house it was at.
Holy shit, yo.
But yeah, yep.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I remember because I was just like, my boy comes up to me with a drink, and listen to me right now. Do not accept drinks from people in college.
I don't.
Bring your own. Whoever's listening.
Don't do it.
Every party is a BYOB party.
It's 2020. Don't trust anyone.
Every party is a BYOB party. It is. Bring your shit, because I was at a basement party, and I'm telling you right now, I didn't know that music was purple until that night. Music is the color purple. It is. Music is the color
I've
purple.
Got some stories. We'll talk off the air about those.
Dude, so I want to talk real quick about, because you have been on, we're going to change topics real quick.
Yeah.
My little brother loves you.
What?
Because I share.
I don't think I've met your brother.
You haven't.
Okay.
He's pretty young still, but he also loves to travel. He works for Delta.
Oh, he does?
He wants to meet you.
Where does he work?
He works in Appleton,
Okay.
Wisconsin, but
Sick. Send some bags his way. So
he's awesome. He has a page called Travels with Briar that he has on Insta.
I'm gonna follow right now. Are you on his benefits? Who's his companion?
I think his dad.
Okay.
Yeah, his
well,
dad.
no, his dad should get it regardless.
Will he?
Yeah. He gets
Maybe
one
I'm his companion.
Friend or
I'll
one
have to ask
person.
him.
Ask him, because we could all hit a trip.
That'd be dope.
We'll all hit a trip.
Briar,
dude.
Hook me the fuck up, dude. What are you doing?
But yeah, so he does all these
Here, put that in so I can follow him.
yeah, dope, dude.
I'm
Briar,
all over the fucking place. I've been to 30 countries in the last 2.5 years. Travel is life.
So the airport manager just came up to him and was like, "Hey, thanks for doing this for us, dude." So he goes all around. He's been to Turks and Caicos. He's been to all these other countries. In fact, he just tried to go to this fucking idiot. His passport expired. Bought a plane ticket to Europe.
He bought it, or he was non-revving?
He was going there, and it didn't work out. They were like passport number, and he typed it in, it was expired, and they were like,
damn.
Nope.
They don't let you go if your passport's within 6 months of expiring.
Really?
Yeah, because what people used to do is they would have a passport that's about to expire, and a lot of people don't know the biggest form of illegal immigration in most places is going there on a proper visa, going there on a proper permit, and then just staying
and then
past
just not
time.
going back.
And so people would go there with 6 months left on their passport and just fucking never
and then
come
just
back.
chill.
That's what they do. So they make most of Europe. You can't get into Europe if you have more than 6 months.
Okay.
I mean, less than 6 months. I don't think the U.S. lets you in if you're from a foreign country with less than 6 months.
Shit.
Mexico's the same way.
Remember back when you'd be able to go into Canada, Mexico with your driver's license?
Yeah, they have something now. It's called Sintra. It's basically
you got that now?
No, I have global entry.
Oh.
Because
you go everywhere.
30 plus countries in the last 2 years.
That's what I want to talk about, dude. Yeah. You've been on how many flights? You put up this fucking graphic the other day.
Let's fucking take a look.
The flight hours
it's getting updated tonight when I take this next flight. But
dude, I was reading the hours you've been on an airplane. I was like,
yeah, it's a fucking lot. It's like 3 months straight or some shit.
Yes, dude. It's like literally a quarter of a year.
Let's see. I'll bring I have a little website that I use that tracks it. Okay.
Yeah, you're definitely one of my most interesting friends, dude. I love having you on, dude. I really do. Man.
This has been a blast. Anytime. So since 2018, January 2018, I've done 355,000 miles, 218, soon to be 219 flights tonight when I go back.
219 in 2 years.
Yeah, 169 are domestic and 50 international, or 149 are international. So
that's bananas.
And then here's the crazy one. So it's not quite as much as we thought, but it's 862 hours in the sky. It's 5.1 weeks.
That's a lot of weeks in the sky.
Yeah, man. It's a blast.
And on top of that, that's just for you traveling. That's not
fun.
you
That's
being
leisure.
a CFI.
No,
that's not your flight training hours.
Yep.
That's none of that shit.
Flight training hours.
You might actually have been in the sky about half of your life.
Yeah, damn near.
You might actually have
I love traveling, dude. So, and if you're wondering how the fuck do you fly that much, I want to make it clear I worked a full-time job. I work 2 jobs actually at the time for most of that travel. I do day trips because I work for an airline. When you have flight benefits,
it's standbys.
It's easy. Mm-hmm. It's available. You have to ask yourself, if you had the ability to travel for basically free anywhere in the world at any time, would you do some of the things I've done? And I've been to Amsterdam 18 times, But
18?
Yeah, 18 times. But, and that was in 1 year.
Do you want to go sometime? Because that's my hometown.
I'm down.
That's where my family's from.
I love that city.
We'll go.
That city is amazing. What I would do is I'd take the last flight, because Minneapolis will have 2 to 3 flights depending on the time of the year. And this was when I was living up here full time, and I would take the first flight out. You get there at 6 in the morning. I'd walk around for 6 hours. I'd take the last flight back, be on the ground for 6 hours, eat some good food, and come back.
That's so fucking
Do that all the time.
Yeah, I'm trying to go visit some family. They still live out there.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Anytime. I'm always down for an Amsterdam trip.
I just texted my grandma. I'm like, hey, I'm heading to Amsterdam this year. You want to go? And she's like, no, I'm not going anymore.
I spent 2 weeks in Africa. I went for
Yeah,
for 1
dude,
week.
Tell me about Africa.
Dude, so
I wanted to talk to you about Africa, because that's like the one continent that no one goes to.
Dude.
Everyone goes to Europe and fucking all these, but no one really goes to Africa. Tell me about that place.
Africa, I didn't realize how big it was.
Huge.
Until I went there, because I went to Amsterdam, and then I connected from Amsterdam. Well, I flew from Amsterdam to Brussels, and then I caught a flight from Brussels to Kigali, Rwanda. And
Rwanda, dude.
Yeah. And so you hear, the history of Rwanda obviously is tragic, but the people there, nicest people I've ever met. Rwanda, the country, I went all over the country, is the cleanest country I've ever been in.
Dude, there
it's
have
like a
been
national
some tragedies in that country.
And the people have really like evolved from that in the best way you could
That's
think
what
of.
I'm saying. Like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
They had a genocide, a real genocide.
Like a real one. Right.
Like my professor escaped it.
Right. They've like literally turned their country around for the better. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Highly recommend anybody going there. If you want to see silverback gorillas, they've got some dope silverbacks.
Dude.
It's fucking cool.
Real silverbacks, not Cincinnati zoos that they shoot silverbacks.
Yep. And then on that trip, I went there for a week, or a week and a half, and then I spent a day in Zambia, and then like half a day in South Africa on a long layover.
Is South Africa like a whole different continent, sort of? Or I heard that
So South Africa is like, first of all, just from me being in, like people view Africa as a country, like ignorantly. When it's,
it's just
like
Africa.
30 countries there.
Yeah. Africa is,
and they view it as like the safari stuff that
it's
you
because
see.
maps make it look smaller than it is. Yeah. Africa is so big.
It can fit
you
almost all
could
the other countries.
shove every other, like almost every other continent onto it, and it would almost fit. Like, it's so big. The United States is the size of like its dick.
Right.
Like it's
a
so
huge place.
big. But but white people make the maps, so we make our America is huge.
And we have this Western idea that Africa is like all fucking animals and wild plains and all this shit and tribes and shit. Mm-hmm. Most of these African countries, like, they have those areas, but they also have hugely urbanized capital cities and products that they make. Like in Rwanda, they have this cell phone company there that they use more than Apple, more than Samsung. It's like their home country cell phone company, and it's hugely popular there. And it's a cool little cell phone. It runs on Android. Like, it's dope. So, Africa's so diverse. I want to get back there. My brother's been to Ghana. He said he loved it. I want to go out there.
Dude, your brother, I didn't realize, your brother, he's is he a rapper? Or what does he do?
He's an artist, dude. He does
like
everything.
All sorts?
Production, video production, music production.
Dude,
he raps, he sings.
I watched his music video. I'm trying to think of what it was called. What song was it? I don't know. It was a song that I have saved in my shit because it was actually pretty fucking good.
Just wait. Actually, in 3 days, he has a music video coming out for a unreleased song called Power.
What's his name?
Benji Patterson.
Patterson.
Everybody check him out on YouTube.
He's good.
He dropped a 18-minute short film kind of documenting his life over the last like 2 to 3 years of how he's trying
Benji, I've never met you, but I'm proud of you, dude.
Yeah, and he's fucking dope. And like he's got this song coming out called Power, where he basically calls out like the bullshit that's in society.
Love it.
I've seen it. It's fucking incredible.
About to be excited.
Incredible. I'll send you the link when he drops it.
Dude, he's very talented.
Yeah,
Benji, very, my family, very talented.
Right, he is. And my family, we've always said, like, if anybody's gonna grow to be a billionaire, that's Benji.
Dude, he
could be a billionaire.
His music video, I opened it and watched it, and I was like, who made this?
Him.
And then
it's him and his friends, and mostly him. Like with the
dude,
musical
it
editing
looks
and production.
Like it looks like it came out of Hollywood.
Yeah, it's very professional quality.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
So if Benji Patterson, go check him out.
It's fucking
He's
sick.
fucking good.
Yeah.
This kid's gonna be fucking big one day.
January 29th, everybody. Power's coming out.
I'm
YouTube.
excited.
Check it out.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be sick.
Well, I should get him on here sometime.
Definitely.
Fucking,
he never comes up here because it's cold. California kid.
He stay down in California? Well, I'm heading down to. I have. Spoiler: I have shows in Vegas coming up.
Oh, woo! I'm gonna have to pop out. That's 4 hours.
Yeah, that's so
just take
cool.
The plane and come out.
There's more. I'll let you know about that.
Yeah, send me the dates.
I'm also going to California to LA here in the next couple months to
sick.
get
I'll
some
have to introduce you
paperwork
guys. Let me know
done
when
and
you're out
shit.
there. I'll try and pop out too.
Got to get some goddamn paperwork and just,
That sounds ass.
It's ass, but how cool is it that I get to go to LA to do paperwork?
Yeah. What is it for?
This stuff, dude.
Oh, for this?
Comedy, podcasting, sponsorship, shit like that.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Good shit. All right,
dude,
keep that grind.
Dude, do you want to know what actually bothers me a lot? People, there is a group of people that are in the community world, or the comic community, that follow all of my shit, but they really want me to fail, dude. Oh, does it suck?
Haters, yo. That's
it
just everywhere.
sucks.
Everywhere you fucking look, dude.
Anytime I post anything about me doing better, it's a fucking laugh emoji or whatever. Like, you aren't.
Nah, dude. See, and this is the.
It
is the thing.
sucks. It's. I know that we're not supposed to listen to it. Well, but it's like, God, it's just. It sucks. Like, can you not?
See,
Canyon, I'm fucking trying to do something here.
I feel very blessed because I've always been. You can ask my parents this. Like, I've always been the kind of person where people could try and belittle me or tear me down.
You just don't give a shit.
It doesn't bother me at all.
That's awesome.
And I wish everybody had that because I've seen my friends who don't want to take that shit to heart and who really shouldn't. And and it's hard because.
See, I say I don't.
Right.
But it seeps in, man.
It does. I can
seeps
see
in.
that. It's just human. You know what I mean? It's just, you want people to be happy for you, right? Even if you're not at the success you're at yet.
You're just like looking at all of the hard work that you do, and you're like, can you at least appreciate the hustle,
grind.
you
Right.
fuckhead?
Yep.
Like, can you at least appreciate the hustle?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I think haters are fantastic because you put all this fucking work in, right? You're grinding, you're doing all this, and these are the same people that when you blow up will be begging and knocking at your fucking door talking about how you owe them some shit.
Do you know how much?
And you could just
do you know how many people from my hometown right now hook me up and want me to come hang out with them at those stupid fuck bars and shit that we used to? I'm not doing that.
Right.
None of you invited me anywhere growing up. None of you fuckheads wanted me at your parties. None of you wanted me at your shit. I always had to go hang out with kids at other schools. Yep. So don't invite me to your fucking things anymore. You guys didn't want me around back then.
Hell yeah.
Now that I've got a fucking name for myself, now you want to hang out. Go fuck yourself. I'm not hanging out with you.
People are so ready to do two things. Fucking leech, right? When they see people that, whether they supported them or not, especially the ones who didn't support, are ready to fucking leech off you and go off your clout and try and get a little bit of their own.
Yeah, it's fucking
and two,
frustrating,
follow.
man.
Everybody wants to just fall in line, lazy as fuck, follow, don't think critically, all this shit. That's where all our problems come from.
Big laziness.
Yeah.
Laziness.
Yeah, fucking laziness, dude.
Intellectual and physical laziness.
It's fine to, be grinding and take a break.
Everybody
needs a fucking break.
Listen,
but to be perpetually just lazy and not motivated and not have your own ideas, your own goals to pursue, it's fucking disgusting.
Yep. I don't. Can you imagine having a life that you don't have your purpose?
Right.
Like I'm blessed that I found what I fucking. This is what I'm doing, man. I live for this shit.
That's good.
This is awesome.
You gotta love what you gotta do.
Traveling, telling jokes on stages, and
it's
awesome.
Right. You see things like Kobe fucking dying today. It just hits home even more so to do what you love.
Do what you want to fucking do.
Do what you love. These corporations don't give a fuck about us.
They don't. Listen,
if I quit, they replace me that same afternoon.
Your
they
job.
Got 10 people
hey, I need you to stay late. Do some overtime.
No.
Listen.
Fuck
go
that.
home. Listen. Go home.
Yep.
Go be with your family. Go do something.
Right. Spend time for you. Spend time with yourself.
When I was a manager of a place before this,
the hockey spot, huh?
I can't talk about where I was the manager of this place, but I was a manager of some place, and I always had issues because he never wanted to let me go home. I went home one time a year for Christmas, and I would go home for 4 days. He hated it. He was like, "Well, obviously you're the manager of this place. I can't have you leave," and blah blah. I haven't seen my family in a year.
Right.
You go home to them every fucking night, dude. Well, it's not my fault that you moved here. I know that, but I've been here for the entire year. Mm-hmm. You've gone on golfing trips and shit every Monday.
Right.
You leave early, leave early every Monday to go fucking golfing. And you're going to fucking sit here and tell me I can't go home for Christmas? How about you suck a dick?
Right.
How about you shove a giant fucking cock in your mouth?
Right.
How's that?
See, and there's this like idea nowadays that young people are kind of starting to more embrace. Here's my thing: if people took all the energy they hold towards just living in a mediocre status quo because they don't want to get a little uncomfortable to really fight for change, and they took all that effort into, let's say, 80%, 70%, hell, 60% of Americans one year formed a group and said, we're not paying taxes this year because our tax system's fucked. Our government doesn't represent us.
Yep.
You know how fucked the government would be?
Yeah.
How quick things would change?
The IRS would be shut down overnight.
You know how
the new tax code would be written by a bunch of professors would come in. They'd all write the tax code. Yeah. Everyone would be fair.
Your company's fucking you? Get a group of fucking 50 or 60% of your company to stop working for a week.
Literally. Stop.
Fuck that company.
I don't think people realize this. You have the power. The only power over you is the one that they tell you that they have.
The threat of fucking up your status quo.
Yeah. Well, the threat of you losing your job. But listen to me right now. There are so many jobs right now that people are pulling people from other jobs. If you don't like your job, tomorrow's Monday.
Dude.
If you don't like your job, let's tell you right now. If you quit your job tomorrow, tweet me. I'm going to send you $20. You're fucking awesome.
Right now, right? That is offering an $85,000 sign-on bonus to stay with them for 3 years.
Yep.
Because that's how bad they need pilots.
Yep.
That's damn near all your certificates. Damn near all your certificates. Right there. Right? Just a little bit out of it.
It's like just 15 shy. Literally.
15 shy.
But that's just a normal college education at that point.
And they're doing that and it's actually 100 if you come from another job. If you come with a certain type rating and you come with previous airline experience, it's 15 more. So you get $100,000 just to hop ship. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. They're hopping ship, and now what do you think the other company's going to do?
Right.
Oh shit, we got to do the same fucking thing.
Competition.
But your company will literally have you sit there and believe that you need them more than they need you, and that is not the case.
True.
That is not the case. I'm telling you right now, your manager is sitting in his office wondering how the fuck am I going to get all these shifts covered.
Swear to God, everybody go out there and you look at your job today, and you imagine if 15, 20, 30% of everybody you work with locally at your local store, your local restaurant, quit on the same time. How fucked would that restaurant be?
They'd be real fucked.
They'd be real fucked.
And there's a lot of...
How fucked would that department store be? Real fucked. So, we the people truly have the power, and it's really upsetting.
In every situation.
In every situation. It's frustrating and upsetting that we also sit here and allow the fuckery to go on.
Yep.
We're allowing it.
I'm sure you have this issue too with like employers and stuff. But if you get told to do something by a boss that's stupid, you're like, I'm not doing that.
Thankfully, I haven't dealt with that much. I've dealt with the closest kind of stupid shit I've ever dealt with was at Cabela's.
Yeah, just because it's retail.
And it was retail, and it was a higher up corporate policy that local management had no power over, so they couldn't help me. So I got fired from that job.
You got fired from that job?
Yeah, dude, I got fired from that job. It was the only job I ever gotten fired from, and it was dumb. You want to know what it was?
Yeah.
So I had one no-call, no-show. So at Cabela's, they did, now these back then, they've gotten bought out by Bass Pro, so I don't know what the fuck they're doing now. But at Cabela's, back then, you'd give them a sheet, because it was a college town, and you'd say, these days I can absolutely not work. Management would sign it. You'd never get scheduled on that day. Do that, sign it. Well, one of these days, they scheduled me on the day I can't work. They signed it, agreeing. Couldn't work there. I didn't show up. No one called me. No one gave me a courtesy call to say, hey, you're supposed to be at work today. Because I could have come. I could have at the last minute came in and then dealt with the explanations after.
Yeah.
So I get a no-call, no-show. Well, if you get a no-call, no-show, but at least back then, you got an automatic, like, last chance. Like, you get one more fuck-up and you're out.
Okay.
Okay? There's a corporate policy. So, what happens is, literally, like, a month before I'm off probation, it lasts for 6 months. Like, a month before I'm off probation, another one happens. That one was my fault. That one, I completely forgot I was scheduled. So, I took full responsibility for that one, right? But it should have been my first one.
That should be your no-show right there.
Right. I was at work living at Cabela's. You remember how much I was
You were there all the time.
Fucking all the time.
Literally
all the time.
I was selling
credit cards
dude,
for them.
You literally came to class with your fucking tan shirt on.
Yeah, dude. Fucking, because I had to go to work right after.
Yeah.
Or I just
came from work.
Yeah,
a lot
I was
of
on
times.
a lunch break or some shit.
Yep.
And I go to, so I was literally living at Cabela's, giving them all my time because I needed money. And I liked the job. It was fun. Great discounts. So it benefited me to do well at my job, right? And I take pride in my work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ever be a slacker. If I get a job, it's because I choose to fucking be there.
Yep.
Guarantee that. And so, I fucked up one time on me.
Yep.
But because it was my second time, they had to fire me. And it was so fucking hilarious how that went down. It just proved to me that corporations aren't shit. So
when shit like that happens to you,
well, no. It gets even bigger than that. This is the whole thing. So basically, my whole time there, I was their number one part-time employee for getting people signed up for their credit card. You get a person signed up for the company credit card, it values the company a certain amount of money.
Yep.
They would pay us. I would get $1 per person I got extra on my paycheck, so it incentivized me to get people signed up for the card.
Yep.
I would save people money because as they got saved up for the card, especially during times where we had extra deals, they would save money on their purchase. They were happy. Whether or not they responsibly use that credit card, I don't give a fuck.
That's not up
my
to you.
Business.
Yep.
And then during certain times, I'd get $5 or $10 per card, right? So I think in 1 year, I got 300 or 400 people signed up for the credit card. So I got a lot of extra money.
Multiple people a day.
So they give you an award for the store, the number one full-timer and the number one part-time. So we had this big company event right before Christmas. We all are at the bowling alley. They gave me this fucking award. I come into work the next day. They're like, by the way, here's your release papers, your termination papers. Sorry.
Stop it.
I swear to God.
So you got an award the night before and got fired?
No. They told everyone that I was the number one person. The next day I walk into work. They call me in the back. My boss hands me the award. There's this big wood plaque, blah, blah, blah. Very nicely made, right? Hands me this plaque, and he goes, I'm so sorry to do this. And he hands me the paperwork right after and says, I need you to sign here. You got to turn your shirt in and shit and leave. You're fired. And I was like, really? For what? And then they explained it. I was like, that was your fucking fault because you guys scheduled me fucked up. And basically, but we can't do anything. It's a corporate policy.
The fuck you can't? No.
So then I was like,
you can do something. Be a manager. You call that fucking corporate office and you go, hey, fuck you.
Yeah,
that's what you do. I did that all the time as a manager. I backed up my guys all the time. And I took heat from my owner all the time. I had to sit there in that office and hear that dude, blah, 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 blah. I had to hear that shit all the time because I was constantly, hey, fucking leave him alone.
Yep.
That dude's got 5 classes, he's got a kid, and he's 5 minutes late. It's not a big deal.
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
People have lives.
I do that all the time. Mm-hmm. But I don't ever really have managers that do that for me. But
Never.
I was the type of manager that did that for people.
I
so
actually have.
If
Delta,
you're a manager...
I've had Delta managers who have gone to bat for me.
A Delta has been like
Fucking
number one in
dope.
the airlines for like 10 years though,
Dope.
right? Haven't
Dopest
they?
company I've ever worked for.
Like I watched this. I was looking at this thing from the FAA that was like not the FAA. Jesus Christ, Better Business Bureau, and they were like, yeah, this Delta has been number one customer rated since 2007.
UND is good. Working at UND, my managers there are fucking dope. Like, so thankfully for the most part, I've never dealt with that kind of bullshit. But that one time,
that is helpful.
I took that product. You know what I did? I took that fucking plaque. I walked up to the hunting department. I bought 2 pounds of tannerite and I went out to a field and blew that shit up.
I love it.
And then I went on with my life. I had a job the next day. I already had an extra job. I was working at UND at the school at the same time. But I had another job at Quiznos the next day.
Yep.
Because I was like, I need money.
Yep.
Got to pay my fucking bills. Went on with my life. But I was like, from that day on, it really taught me, fuck corporations.
If you
need a day off, take that fucking day off. Call in sick.
Literally,
fuck it.
Take the day.
Take it.
Take the day. Tell you what, if tomorrow your kid wakes up and says, I don't want to go to school, can we just go to the park?
Right.
Go to the fucking park, dude.
But I will also say, back that shit up with hard fucking work.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
then you need to be motivated.
That.
No, absolutely. You need, because here's the deal. Like, everyone at my job, like right now where I work, everyone knows that I work hard while I'm at my job. I get there at 6:30 and I leave at 3. But I don't leave at 3:30. I leave at 3.
Yeah.
Because I have shit to do, and I have shit afterwards that I want to get done, and I don't want to spend my whole life in this factory. I've got other things I want to do. So like, well, you don't really work overtime very much. Yeah, I know, but while I'm here, I work 4 times harder than all of you fucks.
Yeah,
so,
I put that effort in.
So you can make fun of me right now, but just because I'm not here as long doesn't mean I'm not getting everything else done while you guys are... I have so many people at work that... And I'm not trying to just shit on everyone, but like you got dudes that go out for smoke breaks 40 times a fucking day while you're in there busting your ass, and then they're the first ones to be like, why are you leaving early? It's like, I'm not leaving early, I'm just not staying late.
Facts.
Right.
So, and that's the thing. You have to balance that. So you work hard, but don't let them get comfortable thinking that you can be abused.
Oh, no. Absolutely.
Fuck that.
Oh,
you draw that line.
You work hard, but if they're like, "Hey, I need you to stay late."
You drop that quick.
You just changed "I need" to "Hey, can you stay late?"
Right.
Now I need you to stay late. Well, now I'm leaving for sure at 3 on the fucking balls. Sharp.
Yep.
Sharp. You will see me with my coat. You'll see my back turned at 3.
I'm out.
I got shit to do, bud. Swipe 3.000.00 seconds. Yep.
It's just how it is, man.
Yep.
Fuck that.
2 minutes to go, man. 2 minutes.
Let's wrap it up, dude.
One more question for you.
Go for it.
Have you ever experienced, this is just what I want to ask you just because I remember the first time I actually like talked to you deeper than just being friends was I did a presentation on the Tuskegee Airmen. Mm-hmm. What has being an African American in America done? Have you noticed any differences compared to like, have you noticed people treating you I'm just curious what it's like to live in your skin.
I mean, everybody, I've been so many places, dude. I've been to every state. I've been to all the states in the United States except for 12 of them, and they're on the East Coast that I haven't been to yet, and I'm going to get to them soon. But everywhere I've gone, it's just a little different. You know what I mean? People treat you a little bit different here or there. And I spent most of my time in California growing up there.
Yep.
And it's funny, I've experienced the most racism and blatant racism in California.
Really?
One of the most liberal. Yeah, of course. Fucking retarded out there, dude. It's nuts. But like,
because to me,
and it's
like
the worst kind of racism too.
When
out there, it's
when
like
I go
that
places,
racism where
for
it's like
me,
hidden.
I see what you mean. Dude,
Fucking
well, like
hate
in
that.
Baltimore right now, it's still legal. I'm gonna wrap this up. It's
No, go
real.
for it.
It's legal to
I
like
drive fast.
have on like a lot of people's deeds for their houses. It says cannot be African American on their deed.
Really?
Yes.
See, and that's the thing. It's like I remember reading a story maybe 5-6 years ago now, where Mississippi's last high school was desegregated.
Yep.
In like 2017.
In 2017.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Mm-hmm. So it's like, yes, we've come a long way, but we have a lot longer way to go.
Because anywhere I go, I'm treated the same. Mm-hmm. I don't get like where I ask you, like you're like, well, it kind of depends on where you go.
And
for
it
me,
depends.
that's
like if
not
I'm dressed nice like I am today, treated like I'm just any old person. If I go cozy in some sweats, a hoodie, and I look thuggish in
the eyes of
the
beholder.
cinematic way that movies have portrayed on black people, but yeah, I get people following me in the stores sometimes and things like that.
Man.
As a black guy, you just kind of...
Because I guess for my age, and I didn't realize it because growing up, honestly, I guess I was a little colorblind. I didn't really... Because for me, I don't give a fuck who you are. I never have. So like when people...
And I get that from freedom-minded people.
So when you get people who are like, well, racism is rampant, for a while you almost go, no, it's not. Because to me, it's not.
Well, it is and it isn't. Because... when it comes down to it...
it's on its dying breath, so it's loud.
The only reason why racism has such a massive portion of today's mindset is because people are harping on it like it's the 60s. Mm-hmm. And it's not.
It's not.
It's different. And the racism that is here today is remnants of the blatant fucked up racism that we had.
It's the subtle remnants of the
it's the stuff that has been
shit.
held over in the system. It's the stuff that has been, like, you look at the black home, right? Racism broke up the black family values. Racism imprisoned black fathers, removed black fathers, and that has spiraled into what we have in the black community today and some of the black communities we have today.
Mm-hmm.
That's
decades.
where racism...
Decades.
That's where racism is still.
Decades of taking people's dads out of their homes.
Yeah,
and
that kind of shit.
Laws were written for that.
Yeah, it was legal.
And that was a quote by Nixon.
Just because something's a law does not mean it is just.
It is not morally
if I'm
right.
breaking the law, make sure that I'm also...
morally just.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
morals are your compass,
I'm not
laws.
going to follow a fucking unjust law.
No.
Guarantee you that.
It was illegal to harbor Jews. I would have been the first one to have them in my basement. Fuck you.
Yeah. So, it's an interesting dynamic, but for the most part, it's just, I'm a normal dude.
You are a normal dude. You're fucking awesome. You're not even a normal dude. You're above normal.
You're fucking dude,
You're a
man.
dope-ass motherfucker.
It's fun. I love life. That's the thing. I love living life. I love the experiences I get to experience, good and bad, because it's grown me into who I am today. And life, for like a lot of people don't realize, no matter how peachy your life seems from the outside, everybody has their own struggles. Everybody has their own battles. You could be handed a silver platter, and you still have your own fucking battles. You see all these celebrities dying of overdoses and things. Like, everybody has their own thing. So just live your life to the fullest.
Sometimes there's a turd on that silver platter.
Right. Make you happy, and be kind. Like, if you're just generally kind to people, spread that shit like wildfire, yo. We got too much negativity in the fucking world.
Spread the love, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, we got way too much negativity to be perpetuating that, to add to it. Do your best to treat people with love and respect, even when they don't deserve it. Even if they call you the N-word to your face. Even if they do this, treat them with love and respect. Show them that you are not what they think you are. Right?
The greatest quote I ever saw was like, if you ever get the chance to treat them the way they treat you, I hope you choose to walk away.
Right. Treat them better. Treat them friendly,
Yep.
kind. Like
if they were the first person to steal from them, then go pay their bill.
Right.
Make them know, because that is the best kind of punishment you can, or what's the word I'm looking for? Revenge you can get is show them. Hey,
it's cool.
I'm not bothered by that, bro.
This is real quick. Last thing. There's this guy down in the South who's like a perfect example of this. I got to look his name up for the next time we're on because he deserves major fucking clout. He has converted close to, I think, 300 KKK members and shut down like 10 or something chapters by going in there as a black guy and befriending them and showing them that black people are not what they've been taught. Because you have to remember, racism and all these ignorant things that people believe, no matter what color they are, is taught. It's handed down. It's dumb shit handed down. And you can't knock somebody. I mean, to a degree you can, because we have every availability to get out there and experience.
You have a computer in your pocket all the time.
Right. But to a certain degree, you can't knock somebody for being taught something their whole life. It's hard to unlearn bad habits, you know?
Unfortunately, if you're taught from a kid, you're being like it's you know, you're trying to make a plate, but someone molded it into a bowl.
Right.
You know?
It's hard to fucking
It's kind of hard to wetten up that.
You gotta break that.
It's kind of hard to wetten up that fucking clay. It's hardened up.
Break it or melt it, and then from the beginning build it back up. You know what I mean? And that people don't realize that. So that's why if you do that through kindness and genuine acceptance for not accepting how they treat you, but accepting the fact that they were brought up differently and that they genuinely need to be taught something new from the ground up, just remember how hard it is to teach people something. That's all. Treat them with respect.
Daniel, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Really.
Definitely have to link soon.
You left me hanging. Oh, my God. Love you, bro. See ya.